Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Let me know if you guys can hear me loudly and clearly in the chat. Just want to make sure all systems are go here. Very, very, very serious topic today. Okay, very good. Excellent, 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 excellent. Glad to hear it. What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to the 31st edition of the Hard R podcast. Really and truly, this is kind of a this could be sort of a watershed moment for a lot of people, especially those in who are in this community, you know, who talk about the things that we talk about. And you guys know that the way I normally go about doing the Hard R podcast is, you know, we talk about nigga shit, right? You know, we've got our Hard R police video bingo card. You know, we have a lot of fun with it. You know, it's mostly, you know, it's kind of serious-ish, but for the most part, you know, we try to have fun. We try to you know, lighten the mood. And by the way, Hotep Jesus is going to be joining us here at the top of the hour to discuss today's topic. I sent an invite to Myron Gaines because I know that he has some very strong opinions on this. I haven't heard from him. I haven't heard back from him, but I know that he's really busy. I know he's getting ready to do the whole Penn State debate thing. So whether or not he comes, I'm not really sure. But I know that Hotep Jesus is going to be joining us. Also, I guess if anybody else wants to come up, I think that this is a topic. I think this is a topic that I think a lot of people should really chime in. Let me put this in here. Join the discussion. So there's the link. There's the link to join. But I don't want to bring anybody up quite yet because I want to make sure that I get out what I need to get out. You guys know how that goes. So obviously we are all here to talk about the absolute travesty that occurred at a high school track meet yesterday in Frisco, Texas. And so rather than me, you know, sort of summarizing things, what we'll do is we'll take a look at a couple of videos that sort of summarizes things here. I guess as succinctly as humanly possible. Then I will most definitely give my take on all of this. And I think my take is going to encapsulate a lot of different things. I think this is going to be sort of a culmination of a lot of things that have really been in motion for quite a while, and this has just been. It's like you can't believe what you hear or see sometimes. So let's go ahead and jump in here and listen to this. Here we go.
Memorial High School community gathered tonight in grief after the stabbing death of a teenager at a track meet.
Another teenager, a student at Frisco Centennial, is now charged with the murder. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf's twin brother was at the track with him. His family says he died in his brother's arms. Fox 4's Amelia Jones spoke with the teen's victim's father and is live in Frisco tonight. Amelia.
Steve, Heather, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf had a bright future ahead of him. He was a leader on the football field, and a scholar in the classroom. His dad told me he's holding on to memories and leaning deep on his faith as he tries to wrap his mind around this senseless tragedy.
Incredible.
He was going to turn out to be a great individual and impact this world with positivity.
17-year-old Austin Metcalf was voted MVP of the Frisco Memorial High School varsity football team. The linebacker held a near-perfect GPA and was in the National Honor Society.
He was on the right track. He was doing everything right. I was so proud.
Jeff Metcalf never imagined that his son's future would be cut short.
I'm still in shock.
Wednesday morning, Austin Metcalf was at a District 11 5A track meet at Kirkendall Stadium. Around 10 a.m., Frisco police say 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony stabbed Metcalf in the chest after some sort of fight. Jeff Metcalf says it was Austin's twin brother, Hunter Metcalf, who tried to save him.
And his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed my son.
Oh my God.
Watched his brother die in his arms.
Unbelievable, dude.
It's unclear how Anthony got the knife into the meat or what exactly led up to the fight. Anthony is now facing first-degree murder charges, and Jeff Metcalf
It was the best weekend ever.
is only left with memories.
I was able to watch and be blessed so much. But having both my sons are amazing.
When Jeff Metcalf was diagnosed with cancer 9 years ago, his boys were his strength. Now cancer-free, it's his faith that's keeping him strong.
And when I kissed his forehead today, as his body was cold, I ran my fingers through his hair. I told him it's not goodbye. It's see you later. I'll join you at some point too, son. You just beat me to this place.
Wednesday night, the family's church opened its doors for the community to gather for a prayer vigil to honor a young man whose life touched so many.
But I know he's with the Lord. And I take comfort and peace in that.
In our conversation, Jeff mentioned that he hopes his son's death brings changes to security so no other parent has to go through this. Memorial High School will honor Austin tomorrow during second period, and counselors will be available for any students or staff who need it.
Okay, so
on February 12th,
certainly don't want to watch that. So going to react to just going to play a couple of other videos regarding this. I'm going to play a couple of other videos regarding this. And again, guys, I'm going to have Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus is going to be coming up here at the top of the hour. That's going to be 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me read off this super chat here. Cameron Earland with the $2 super chat says, "Sorry, I'm late. I was thinking NBA Mello for a second." Yeah, you know, it's interesting. The kid's name is Carmelo Anthony, and the NBA Carmelo Anthony spells his name with a C. This kid who is charged with murder spells his name Carmelo with a K. Incidentally enough, NBA Carmelo Anthony was recently inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. So it's kind of, you know, it's kind of in between. So let's watch a couple of other videos regarding this. I want to watch the full video. I want to watch the full video of his father again reacting to this situation. Let's take a look and listen.
Brother was holding on to him, trying to make it stop bleeding, and he died in his brother's arms.
Insane.
And I rushed up there, and I saw him on the gurney, and I could tell. They said he wasn't breathing. I could see all the blood. I saw where the wound was.
Understandably still in shock, Jeff Metcalf says a precious memory was made just this past weekend when he took his twin boys hunting. That's where Austin got his first hog. Well, this morning at around 10, he rushed here to Kirkendall Stadium where the Memorial High School student athlete suffered a fatal stab wound during this track and field meet.
Insane.
Frisco police say a fight broke out between two students when one stabbed the other. More than 100 student athletes were participating in this meet. Fortunately, they were safely evacuated. Police arrested the suspect. He is 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony of Frisco. He is now charged with murder. Some students students unfortunately witnessed this deadly encounter and have been interviewed by police.
Oh my God.
Despite life-saving efforts, the 16-year-old victim died at the hospital. Austin, his father shares, was born 2 minutes before his twin brother Hunter, the two inseparable, as you can imagine. Austin is being remembered as an outstanding student at Memorial High, his football team's MVP, and a young man of faith. His father grappling with loss and forgiveness.
I'm not trying to judge, but what kind of parents did this child have?
Wow.
What was he taught? He brought a knife to a track meet, and he murdered my son by stabbing him in the heart.
Incredible.
The guy was in the wrong place. They asked him to move, and he bowed up. This is murder. I don't know. I know they have someone in custody.
Yeah, we do.
And you know what? I already forgive this person. Already.
Man.
God takes care of things. God's going to take care of me. God's
This dude's a better man than me.
going to take care of my family.
Better man than me.
The victim's father says these two teens did not know each other before today. We do need to stress that police have not said what they believe led up to this deadly encounter. There is a prayer vigil tonight at 7 p.m. at Hope Fellowship Church right here in Frisco.
Okay, so got a couple more. I've got a couple more things to watch, and then I will give my take. So what we're gonna watch now, we're gonna watch the twin brothers. So the twin brother gave an account of what happened because the twin brother was there during the fight. So let's take a look and listen to this.
Found the strength to speak with us late this afternoon about his son.
I cannot believe this. I can't believe this kid actually was able to talk about this.
16-year-old Austin Metcalf sharing memories of this remarkable young man and a heart-wrenching detail about what happened behind me this morning.
The sad part about it is he died in his brother's arms. They were twins, identical twins. And his brother was holding on to him, trying to make it stop bleeding. And he died in his brother's arms. And I rushed up there, and I saw him on the gurney. And I could tell. They said he wasn't breathing. I could see all the blood. I saw where the wound was.
Oh my God, dude.
Understandably still in shock, Jeff Metcalf says a precious memory was made just this past weekend when he took his twin boys hunting. That's where Austin got his first hog. Well, this morning at around 10, he rushed here to Kirkendall Stadium where the Memorial High School student athlete suffered a fatal stab wound during this track and field meet. Frisco police say a fight broke out between two students when one stabbed the other. More than 100 student athletes were participating in this meet. Fortunately, they were safely evacuated. Police arrested the suspect. He is 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony of Frisco. He is now charged with murder. Some students unfortunately witnessed this deadly encounter and have been interviewed by police. Despite life-saving efforts, the 16-year-old victim died at the hospital. Austin, his father shares, was born 2 minutes before his twin brother Hunter, the two inseparable, as you can imagine. Austin is being remembered as an outstanding student at Memorial High, his football team's MVP, and a young man of faith. His father grappling with loss and forgiveness.
I'm not trying to chase. They asked
So
him
we've
to
seen
move.
that already.
God takes.
They believe prayer vigil here in Frisco.
I think there is a video. Oh, I'm sorry. I showed you guys the wrong video. Okay, so this is the video. This is the video, guys. This is the video of the kid. This is the video of the kid. I'm going to show you guys the video of the kid of his twin brother giving an account in terms of what happened.
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I looked at and I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So that's just what I saw. And
That's insane.
I mean, I try to help him, but
It was just senseless.
it was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid. There was this kid before I knew his name. Now.
Oh, okay.
This
So
kid
that
is
was
sitting
it. Okay. All right. So, yeah. So basically what happened, there was, I'll get into this a little bit later. Mason, with the $5 super chat, says straight ninja activity. Bet you his mama said he didn't do nothing. You know, it's interesting. A lot of you guys are, sorry about that. I'm just trying to get my thoughts together because this kind of thing really angers me. Let me read some of your chats here. I'm gonna bring up Hotep Jesus here in a little bit to discuss this. Boy, this is really tough. This is really tough to swallow, guys. King Life says, got to be careful around them Negros. They plumb crazy out here. Absolutely. Dre Raven says, I ran track in high school. I don't remember the 400-meter stab. Is that a new event? Yeah, apparently there's also, you guys remember the girl who clubbed the other girl over the head with the baton a few weeks back, right? You guys know how that goes. Connor Brown says, bring back segregation. No, that's definitely not going to happen. I don't know why you would say that. It's a little, that's a little extreme. King Life says, definitely a competition in Compton or Chicago. Well, apparently it was in Texas. Edward Cross says, Apple and Peaches will be like those, quote, red pill guys, but then steal this video after it drops. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely can't stand those two. Yeah, likes are free, guys. Let's get the likes up. Because, like I said, guys, when I give my take on this, you guys are going to be, it's going to be pretty crazy. Let me go ahead and bring up Jay Blaze here. Jay Blaze, what's going on, brother? Can you hear me? Oh, wait a minute.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm not muted on my end. No, I can hear you, Jay Blaze. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Jump out and jump back in. I can hear him, but he can't hear me. Hang on a second. Let me go to the settings. Sorry, guys. I know this is test. Yeah, he definitely can. He can definitely. Yeah, something's going on. Something's going on Jay Blaze's end. Yeah, something's going on Jay Blaze's end. I don't know what's happening here. Let me shoot him a text and tell him jump out and then jump back in. I do apologize, guys. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah. Out, then jump back in. Okay, very good. Let me kick him and then see if I can. Okay, now. Okay, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? I don't know why. I think there's a problem. I think there's a problem on Jay Blaze's end. I'll get back to him. In a little bit. For whatever reason, Jay Blaze can't hear me. Jay Blaze, yeah, I don't know. I guess you guys know it gets a little bit finicky at times. Edward Cross says Aubin Peach are those types of dudes who claim they can knock somebody out with a jab and do 100 push-ups straight. Yeah, absolutely. You guys know how that goes. Praetorian Guard says it's annoying how creators attack each other personally and give no facts. It's all just emotions. Absolutely. You guys know how this goes. Mason with the $2 super chat says, overall, though, this is beyond terrible. Yeah. You got that right. Let me just go ahead and give my take on this, guys. Guys, there is a crisis, gentlemen. Okay? There is a crisis. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I was going to start, but... And again, guys, I do apologize. Things are kind of wonky. This might actually be... No? Thought somebody was in there. Okay. All right. Never mind. I do apologize.
The Frisco Memorial High School.
There we go. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with I might have to jump back out and jump back in, but either way, guys, let me just go ahead and give my take on this, guys. There's a crisis. We are facing a crisis, gentlemen. We are absolutely, positively facing a crisis. And there is a crisis among young black men. And, we don't like to talk about, these kinds of crises with young black men and boys, right? We don't like to talk about certain things in certain ways. Why? Well, then because you get accused. Oh, there we go. Yeah. The reason why we can't talk about these things, quote unquote, talk about these things is because people like me, we get accused of being racist, right? You get accused of being an Uncle Tom. You get accused of being a sellout, right? Then they like to come out and say, well, what about Brett Favre? And what about this example? What about Dylan Roof, who, ended the lives of a bunch of people at a church? What about this and what about that? So, hey, let's just ignore the crisis going on in the so-called black community. Because, hey, white people have problems too, right? White people have problems too. I remember a while back, Larry Elder, and I remember this very, very clearly. I remember Larry Elder made an appearance on The Breakfast Club. He made an appearance on The Breakfast Club, and I remember Larry Elder was sort of talking about the problems with the black community, this and that and the third, but then Charlemagne the God did something that a lot of people in the so-called black community love to do whenever somebody accurately calls out the fuckery in the black community. Take a look and listen.
In Charlemagne, literally, they sent social workers door to door in the inner city. I remember this, advising women of the availability of welfare provided there was no man in the house. It created
fair use.
An economic incentive for women to marry the government. Same thing with whites. In 1965, 8% of whites entered the world without a father in the home, married to the mother. Now it's
again fair use, and this isn't. I'm not gonna be very long on this. I just want you guys to hear this.
About 25%, also up threefold. Look at census data: 1910, 1920, 1930, in places like Milwaukee, Chicago, Philadelphia. A young black kid was slightly more likely to be brought into a world with a father in the home, married to the mother, than a young white kid. We have incentivized this kind of bad behavior, and it's had a disproportionately bad effect on the black community.
Let me ask you a question. What do white people do wrong?
Let me ask you a question, says Charlemagne the God. What do white people do wrong? Nigga, what the fuck does white people have to do with this shit? This nigga didn't hear a goddamn thing Larry Elder said. Didn't hear a goddamn thing. Let me ask you a question. What do white people do? What the fuck you worried about white people for, nigga? That's the problem with niggas. That's the problem with niggas. All they want to do is turn around. What do white people do? Hey, white people got problems too, right? So let's not address the elephant in the room, right? You have a problem that needs to be addressed. There are problems that need to be addressed, okay? But as black people, we have a problem that needs to be addressed. And that problem is nigga culture. That problem is the so-called black culture. It's unbelievable. You guys know, we all know about the beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, right? They've been beefing back and forth. They've been, dropping, dissing each other, trying to have the best diss track in history and all that shit. Guys, the so-called black culture, all it really is about is disrespect. And this culture that has been imposed on us through hip hop, guys. Nobody can disrespect me. Nobody can talk shit about me. And if somebody disrespects me, I gotta react. I gotta get in their face. I gotta disrespect them. I gotta disrespect them back. And if necessary, I will get violent. And you want to know something, guys? I am self-aware enough to understand that I used to fall in that same category. I used to fall into that same category. You guys know my criminal record. I have an extensive criminal record. Thank God most of it has been expunged. But guys, I used to fly off the handle all the time. I assaulted 2 men over a fucking pizza. Why? Because I didn't want to be disrespected. Why? Because I had no emotional control. Dude, even to this day, I still struggle with it. Now, it's been a while since I've been arrested, obviously, right? But I still struggle with it. And listen, it's nobody's fault but my own. Listen, I am not going to sit here and I am not going to sit here and make excuses as to why my life and criminal history is the way it is. Do not care. I don't care. The decisions I made were mine and mine alone. However, it would be disingenuous of me to not at the very least acknowledge the fact that being raised by a weak / present / absentee father who didn't teach me the importance of stoicism and emotional control didn't factor into my decision making at some point in time. Just like Cooley said on his podcast the other day, he grew up without a father. He had to learn how to be a man all by himself. And you want to know something? Most men, most black men like myself who grew up with a weak or absentee father, we don't get to this point. We end up either dead or in prison. And I'm going to tell you what, I've been close both times, guys. I have been close both times. And look, guys, I'm not the most religious person in the world, but I'll tell you what. I can't really think of an explanation as to why I'm still a free man today, other than the fact that there must be a God or God's looking out for me. I don't know. But the point is that most black men in my position, we had to learn the hard way. And unfortunately, when you have to learn lessons the hard way rather than them being taught to you, you make a lot of mistakes. And there are a lot of mistakes that can't take back. There are a lot of mistakes that really sort of scar you for the rest of your life. Okay, yeah. I had my 4 felonies expunged. Okay, but guys, I still have to live with what I've done. You guys don't think that I don't carry some sort of guilt around with me? You guys don't think I carry some sort of guilt around me for caving these guys' faces in because I got upset over a fucking pizza? No, man, that's not what you're supposed to do. This is not what you're supposed to do. But now all of a sudden, this kid literally stabs another kid to death. Why? Because he felt disrespected. Let me bring up Hotep Jesus here. Give me a second. Oh, okay. He wants me to. Oh, okay. My bad. Oh, okay. So Hotep wants me to. He wants me to email that link to him. Sorry, guys. Little miscommunication there. I remember when I had Hotep Jesus on the 6th. I remember. I remember he was one of the guys. Oops. I remember he was one of the guys I had to actually email the link to. So give me 2 seconds here. I actually used to be very good at this, you know, bringing people on, et cetera, et cetera. HotepJesus@gmail.com. Hotep Jesus. Oh, there he is. All right, very good. And let me jump in here, invite. But yeah, Cooley made quite an impression. He made quite an impression on me because he, like myself, is a self-made man. Okay, so that is, okay, very good. Okay, excellent. Okay, very good. All right, so we're looking good. I do apologize, guys. All right. Okay, I sent it. So while we wait for Hotep Jesus, you know, like I was saying, the problems in the quote unquote black culture, it's not being addressed. Okay. And this black culture is just another word for what has been defined in the mainstream and in legacy media and in the music industry, you know, the Hollywood industry, you know, everything in the culture, black culture is nigga culture. And I will not allow anyone to disrespect me. And I get to determine what is or isn't disrespect. Not the person you are engaged with. No, they may or may not think that they disrespected you. But if you think you're being disrespected, you must now disrespect them in an aggressive manner. And if necessary, turn violent. This so-called black culture, guys, this is borderline demonic. There's Hotep Jesus. I think Hotep's in the chat. Yeah, Hotep Jesus. I sent you the link. I sent you the link to hotepjesus@gmail.com. So whenever you want to come up, and also Hotep, the link is in the chat. But guys, this culture, to me, it's a culture of death, man. It's a culture of death. That's really what it is. That's what the so-called black culture is. It's a culture of death. You disrespect me, I disrespect you. Right? Just waiting for Hotep Jesus to come up here. You guys remember I recently discussed that Netflix recently did the 4-part miniseries called Adolescence. You guys remember Adolescence, right? Right, where they're trying to explain, you know, some 13-year-old white kid who unalived, you know, a young woman, and they're pointing and they're pointing to him like, look, it's because of the culture, it's because of the manosphere. It's because of the red pill. It's Andrew Tate's fault. Andrew Tate is radicalizing young white boys and making them violent towards young women and just making them angry and blah, 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 blah. We must stop it, blah, 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 blah. Now, there could be a shred of truth in there, in that there are a very minute amount of people who take the red pill message and then they take it to the extreme, right? The same could be the same could said really about all religions. I mean, listen, they're extreme Christians. Listen, more people in this world, in my opinion, have died. More people have died in the name of religion, I think, than really for any other cause, right? You know what I mean? But guys, the problem is that young black men, dude, young black men. I mean, dude, we're at a crisis, man. We're at a crisis. Okay? Young black men, they're emotional, they're out of control, and they think that they're being justified in being disrespectful, rude, and occasionally violent when they feel like they've been disrespected. Just like this kid. Out in Frisco, Texas. Oh, there we are. All right. We got Hotep Jesus coming up. All right, Hotep, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I got you covered. Very good. I had somebody else on earlier, but for whatever reason, they couldn't hear me. All right, Hotep. So listen, man, give me your thoughts on this, man, because I know that you and we've been friends for a while, and I know that we don't necessarily agree on everything, but you were the first person. You're the first person that I thought to really get a hold of because, like I said, I know that the two of us, we don't necessarily, agree on everything, but, I'm not opposed to, bringing on people who have, disagreements with me. So what is your take on this whole situation?
Wait, why would I come to mind on this situation? What made you say, oh, I want to talk to Hotep Jesus about this? Why this?
Well, because you're probably one of the smartest and most objective people that I know when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I know that I can, and I know me personally, I know that I can be a little bit biased, you know what I'm saying? And, I don't want to get it right. Or I'm sorry, I don't want to be right, Hotep. I want to get it right. So if there are any holes or anything in my philosophy, my mindset, whatever the case may be, I think I've known you long enough and I respect you enough to understand that any disagreements that we may have, whatever the case may be, it's going to come from a place of, you're not going to argue in bad faith, in other words, and I've watched you for years. So what's your take on this whole thing, man?
We got to go over the facts. What facts do you got? What transpired? Okay. In order to be objective and be, get it right, as you say, we got to know the facts. So what happened?
I'm sorry. What happened? Apparently, according to reports, according to what happened, there was a track meet. And as far as I know, they were supposed to be under some tent or whatever. I guess that was going to give them some sort of statistical advantage, whatever the case may be. And, one kid said, get out of my way. And, one thing led to another. And the black kid, Carmelo Anthony with a K, stabbed the white kid, Austin Metcalf, in the heart, and he died.
Did Austin Metcalf ever put hands on the black kid?
It's that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if he put hands on him. I know from what I can understand, I think he picked up his backpack. I think Austin Metcalf told him to move out of the way, whatever the case may be, and he says, "Make me." Austin grabbed the guy's backpack and moved it somewhere else, and that's when the knife came out.
Yeah. How old were they? Do you know the ages?
Austin's 16, and Austin Metcalf is 16, and the other kid, Carmelo Anthony, 17. So basically the same age.
Yeah, high school kids. So what's your question, Donovan? What questions do you have for me?
I just want to know what you think, because I don't know, like, one kid stabs another kid. You would think that there would be, some sort of outrage or whatever. So, like I said, I just want to know what you think, because in my mind, there are certain people like myself who say, look, this is the problem with black culture, where, and again, I use myself as an example. And I don't know that you know this about me, but dude, I'm a 4-time convicted felon, man. And, my felonies have recently been expunged, but I'm self-aware enough to sit here and know and understand that my felonies are my fault. It's because of my lack of emotional control. That's the reason why. And obviously there were some other factors involved, but I'm not going to sit here and blame anybody on, for my behaviors except for me. And so that's what I'm thinking. And I don't know anything about this Carmelo Anthony guy. All I know is that I can't imagine, and I'm not trying to say that I'm any better or worse than this kid, but I don't know. I can't. And listen, again, as a 4-time convicted felon, that would be me calling the pot calling the kettle black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I lacked emotional control. I paid the price for it, and I hurt some people.
Yeah. All right. So one more question before we really dive into this. And as you said before, I usually argue in good faith, right? And
Sure.
Here, I'm not looking to argue. I just want to get clarity.
Sure.
Why do we need to have an opinion on this event?
I don't know. Why not?
That's my issue. I'm just like, for example, I saw this story this morning, right? And I do a daily show, 2 p.m. It's on Kick called The Griff Report.
Oh,
TGR,
shit, man.
right?
Okay. All right. Good for you.
And we cover money, finance, economics, the markets, crypto. And then after that, we talk about grifters, grifting,
You still got the grifties, by the way?
Yeah, we just had the grifties this past weekend. Amazing event.
Good.
It was absolutely phenomenal. Really had a really great time. We got to get you out there one year. And then after that, we talk about intersexual dynamics, right?
Right.
The manosphere stuff. So there's 3 segments to my show. This story didn't make any of my segments. In fact, I woke up this morning, did what I had to do, checked the timeline when I was putting the show together, and I saw this story and I just scrolled past it. I didn't think it needed my opinion, right? That's why I asked you.
Okay.
That's why, I was like,
oh, that's why you asked me, hey, why did you reach out to me?
Yeah,
That makes sense. Okay.
that's why I'm asking you, because when I saw this story, it was like something, a tragic event happened between 2 high school kids, and I saw the black spin, right? Like the whole, hey, look, black guy killed white kid. And I was like, oh,
Sure.
okay, some more woke right shit. So I just scroll past it because I don't feed energy and attention to that. So that's why I was asking you, why did you think this story needed an opinion, and more particularly my opinion?
Yeah, because I knew that, I don't know, man. It's to
or
me,
anybody's. Why does it need? Why are we discussing?
Well, you in particular,
event?
like, yeah. Well, the reason, I don't
anybody,
know.
forget me. Like, why? Why do we need to have an opinion on something tragic that happened? Because there's this event particularly, because this is going to happen thousands of times throughout this year, right? This isn't like something that doesn't happen.
Okay. Yeah. So you're asking me why I should have an opinion on this?
Not you, anybody.
Well, I can't speak for anybody. I think the reason why, me in particular, the reason I have an opinion on this is because I don't want to say, because I don't know anything about this Carmelo Anthony kid. I really don't. But I think to a degree, I think I used to be him, man. Now, not to the point to where I'm, stabbing somebody to death, but dude, like I've been in some pretty violent altercations, and I can, and in hindsight, I know that I was definitely accountable in that. I'm never going to be the guy that says, well, he started it or da-da-da-da-da. Now, in some cases, was I being tried, whatever the case may be, sure. But in more times than not, Hotep, I should have just walked away instead of reacting the way I reacted, I guess. And I think, I don't know, I guess I identify with someone who clearly has the lack of emotional control.
Yeah. You know why I think everybody's talking about it?
Why?
Because a black kid did something to a white kid.
Okay.
It's just a racial spin, right? That's
Sure.
like that's
because
what
if it was a black dude who did something to a black dude, we probably wouldn't be talking about this, right?
And if it was a white kid that did it to a white kid, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this too.
The correct answer to my question is, why should we have an opinion about this? Because there's racial animosity, there's racial animus, there's a racial issue in America, okay? And a bunch of white people got in their feelings because a black kid stabbed a white kid. So now it's black men are violent, 13 and 50 or 13 and 60, whatever it is. And, white people are under attack. That's what I saw on my timeline this morning.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. Right. That's what a bunch of people said, right? So it's just like, so we're talking about this not because we care about violence in schools. We're not talking about this because we care
you don't
about
think?
the family.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about this because a black kid killed a white kid. It's about race. And this thing is what I call the great black griftening. Okay. And basically, okay. It's called the great black griftening.
Griftening.
And basically in the grifter sphere, you have certain things that you can grift off of. Okay.
Sure.
And those things are going to get you a lot of clicks and a lot of hits. Well, the great black griftening is the greatest thing to grift off of. And that is an event where white and black people clash. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
And where white and black people clash, you get the most views. So usually people flock to those stories to go and grift off of the story, right?
Gotcha.
So in this case, what we're dealing with is the great black griftening, and it has so much power. Anytime you can put black and white people at odds with each other, you get clicks, it
moves the needle.
You get conversation, it moves the needle.
Moves the needle.
Right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So when I see stories like this, my issue is it's not as simple as having a conversation about it. Okay. What we're talking about is massively changing the trajectory of history.
Okay. All right.
This is the white Trayvon Martin. This is the white George Floyd moment. Okay.
Wow. Whoa. You think so?
That's what we're dealing with here.
Okay.
This thing has the ability to make race relations have more attention.
Okay.
Right. And this is why I say we have to be responsible when we talk about these stories, because we don't want to add to any more racial conflict.
Okay. All right.
Right. We don't want to feed into, because that's what they want us to do. They want us to say black boy bad, white boy innocent. And we don't have the facts. None of us were there. We don't have video footage.
Right.
I had a caller.
It's just hearsay, right?
It's just hearsay, right?
Yeah.
But I had a caller call in and say, the twin brother was in on it. And I'm just like, whoa, like, it can get really crazy, right? Okay. So, my point is, this is only a story because it's the great black griftening. But the great black griftening is like this wormhole that leads to another dimension, which completely starts to change the course of history. And this is bigger than just this event. This could lead to violence.
Okay.
Between.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Yeah. Like rioting, etc. Okay. I'm with you.
Right.
Yep.
It like all it takes is somebody to say the wrong thing on social media.
Oh yeah.
And it becomes a snowball effect, right?
Yeah.
So, somebody makes a comment on the story. It's a white guy. A black guy sees it and goes, oh, that's, racist. They hunt that guy down. They fight him. Or let's look at it on some Final Destination shit. Okay. You view this story on your timeline. Let's say you're a black woman.
Sure. Yeah.
This story happens. It hits the timeline. Somebody says some racist shit. And now it's kind of got you in a mood, right? So now that black woman is in a certain mood, and that trickles down into whatever's happening in her household. It could lead to an argument with her husband or her children.
Right.
And then there's
trickle
that
down
ripple effect from there, right? So there are all these different strings of possibilities that come from the great black griftening. And that's why, when I woke up this morning, it was time to put together my show. And I always see these things. I try not to create another string of possibilities. I try to create a string of possibilities that lead to positive things in people's lives, right? And I try to be very responsible with my rhetoric and how I speak. So when I saw this story, I didn't want to hop in and just say, he's bad.
Gotcha.
This, that, and the third.
Okay. All right. I'm with you on that. Okay.
Yeah. So, we gotta be careful with how we talk about this stuff, because one false move could just, incite so much.
Not even a move. It could really be one false word,
'Cause
really.
You got to understand that, this is what the control design wants, right? They
of course.
need that divide between white and blacks for that divide and conquer dynamic. They need this so we're not watching them, right? So, for example, are you familiar with the Stablecoin Act?
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Okay. The House literally yesterday passed the Stablecoin Act. And I don't know if you know this, but this allows all types of like geofencing for, financial activity and just another plethora of financial possibilities, Fourth Amendment violations, but nobody's
It's a tapestry,
talking
right?
about that.
Yeah.
What's
right,
that?
Right. It's like a small string and a tapestry of.
It's this Stablecoin Act that just passed in the House is akin to a CBDC. In fact, the Richmond Federal Reserve calls it a synthetic CBDC, a stablecoin. And I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole, but what I'm saying is, while they are passing legislation, the poor, the middle class, the rest of us are arguing about an isolated incident. In a grand scheme, this is a very minor incident. What happened? It's major when you zoom in. A kid was murdered. That's major. But when you zoom out, there are so many other things going on in the world. You have to start to prioritize where your discussion leads and what it is that you talk about, right?
Okay. All right.
This event that happened with the kid is not going to affect your life. It's not going to affect mine. But the Stablecoin Act is going to affect all of us, right?
Okay.
Trump's tariffs, big story. That's going to affect all of us, already is, right? This is a wealth accumulation moment, right? That if we don't catch this moment while the stock market is low and buy low, and when it comes back and sell high, like this is when wealth is created. So instead of talking about these things, we got to talk about this great black rifting moment, right? So anyway, so the part of the crux of the matter is that the oligarchs or whoever's at the top of the control design is working on keeping us divided.
Clearly, right. Yeah.
So that we never look at what it is they do, right? We never take a look at what's Congress doing right now, right? What's the financial, the FSPs, financial service providers, what are they doing, right? MasterCard is, doing something with digital assets now. Brazil just passed the Stablecoin Act. There's so many things that's happening globally right now.
I do remember that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right. And that's so the oligarchs can create this fence around us.
Right.
But if we united, right? If we stop saying a black kid killed a white kid and just said a teenager killed a teenager, that destroys the story.
Right.
The story is no longer a matter that needs to be discussed for some reason.
It's almost like they're financially incentivized to sow the seeds of division, in other words. Is that what you're saying?
That's part of it. That's definitely a part of it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. George Soros is waiting for a moment like this.
Oh yeah.
Right? So you're thinking about right now, right? I'm thinking about when the case goes before a judge and details come out and say the white kid put his hands on the black kid first and the black kid is claiming self-defense, but the black kid loses the case. What happens now? George Soros sends his protest goons out, right? And now we are back rejuvenating the Democratic Party, which we don't want to see anymore. So we're actually breathing life back into the Democratic Party. We're breathing life back into the liberals at a moment when we've won our country back and we now have an opportunity to change the course of history for something positive. We are regressing as a nation and going back into the Black Lives Matter plan. When we could all say, listen, we're going to throw some bread at this family. A teenager killed another teenager, and we're going to move on. But that's not what we're doing. We're complaining about black versus white. And the Democrats are going to use this. If this kid goes down, the Democrats are going to use this and campaign on this and say the kid was innocent. Whether, and I'm not here to be the judge on whether he's, guilty or innocent. I wasn't there, right? That's up to the judge. It's up to the courts. It's up to the jury. But at the end of the day, this is bigger than what's happening right now. This can spiral and snowball and become so many things that will be used politically. And as I've said before, and I'll say it again here on your show, the Democrat recovery program is built into the right wing. The Democrat recovery program is built into the right wing because they're waiting for stories like this, for people to come out and say racist things so they can come back around next election and say, remember that story of that kid, Carmelo Anthony and Metcalf? Yeah. Remember those things the right wing said? You don't want the racists in office, do you? At a moment when we're pulling black voters away from the Democratic plantation at the highest rate ever. Now we want to regress and go backwards and give them something to campaign on. That is not logical.
So let me ask you this, because I got a couple other people that have got, well, that may or may not join. You're actually like I said, you're the first person I thought of, and that's one thing I respect about you, man. No matter what I talk about, you're always like, yeah, let's do it. What do you think is what is the most responsible way to cover a story like this? Because let's keep it real, Brian.
You got to think about end game.
But about who? About what now?
You have to think about your end game.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Like, what is your end game? Is your end game to go viral? Is it to excite your crowd? Or is your end game designed to bring about peace? Right?
Okay.
Hotep literally translates to peace, right? Satisfaction at rest. So is it designed to, to put this simply, is it designed to put your people in a high vibrational state or a low vibrational state?
Okay.
Is it designed to bring about love, or is it designed to bring about hate?
Rage.
Now, there are times you need to incite some motherfucking hate.
Of course.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not one of those guys. Okay. Ain't no,
Starbucks notwithstanding, right?
Yeah, correct. But what I'm saying is, when you look at this story like this, you've got to look at history and look at the future and say, where is this going, right? Like when I see a story like this, I don't see the story. I immediately project myself into next week, next month, next year, next election cycle, and say, how does this story affect us?
Okay.
Right? And like,
that makes
so,
sense.
and when I speak about this story, how do I want my people, my viewers, how do I want them to walk away?
Okay.
What emotion, what thought do I, because we have a tremendous amount of responsibility with our platforms, right? So, do I want my people walking away smiling, or do I want them walking away like, what is the call to action?
Yeah,
right.
gotcha.
Like, what do you want people to do? You want them to go online and fight with others, or do you want them to walk away from this rising above the fray?
Right.
And looking at everybody else having this conversation and arguing and going, they don't understand the play here. I do.
Okay.
So let me observe and move accordingly, right?
Yeah.
So you have to zoom out and become the watcher of this thing, because none of these stories become stories by accident.
Sure. Right.
Okay?
Of course.
So,
right.
At some moment, there is a play here by somebody that blew this story up and made us
right.
care about
Right.
it.
Absolutely. There's clearly an agenda somewhere.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but at the end of the day, like, you have to know yourself. What is my end game? How do I want to make my viewers feel? What do I want them to do after I discuss this?
Okay.
Right? How do I want them to feel?
Okay.
Right?
All right.
And you
don't want or need them to feel, like, just to say pick a content creator. man, what's the best way to put it? Is there like take yourself for example, right? Like, what is your end game? Do you have different end games depending upon the subject matter? Because some people's end game is just to sow seeds of hate and rage and all this other kind of stuff, and then some people, their end game is to educate people and to maybe have them make their own decisions, and then some people just want everybody to be peaceful. So is it static? Is it dynamic? Or I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
So some people do things for clicks, right? If you're going to do things for clicks, then you're going to sensationalize, you're going to drive hate, you're going to drive low vibrational.
That's the
actions.
grifting. That's the grifting, right?
That's the dark side of the grift. There's a positive side of the grift, but there's a dark side of the grift. The dark side of the grift is going to leave their people unfulfilled of enlightenment. Okay.
Yep.
They're going to be low brain or small brain.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Meaning they're just looking at this event and giving you the basic bitch takes. Right.
Red
basic
meat.
Bitch takes is like, for this event, it's like, oh, he's a black kid. Oh, where's his daddy? He was angry and he was emotional.
And guess what? And get this, Brian. Carmelo Anthony has two good parents that treated him very well. They treated him very, very well. Dude, two present parents. I don't want to say they were affluent, but, the kids owned a couple of cars. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of the stereotypical arguments really aren't there.
Right. But, I mean, the stuff that really doesn't take any thinking, right?
Okay,
like,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Everybody's going to have the basic bitch takes, right?
Sure.
Like, people watch my show, they know they're not getting basic bitch takes. You come to my show, I'm going to think deeply and really try to figure out how can we create enlightenment for my audience. How do we take them up, right?
Right.
I don't want to keep them here, and I don't want to lower them either.
Right.
I want to take them to the next level, right?
Right.
I want them to ascend and find enlightenment. And so, but that doesn't get clicks.
No. Education, and it's interesting. You know what? You're absolutely right. Entertainment gets clicks. Education,
entertainment gets
there
clicks.
It is.
Right.
There you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
So, I do entertainment. I say funny things. I say outlandish things. It's sometimes I just say some things you're definitely not supposed to be saying.
I remember one time on the 6 you said, "I cheat because I love you." That was fucking awesome.
So I get reckless with the speech. So
you feel me?
But I do comedy, so I'm always able to make people laugh, right? Like that's what the Grifties was. It's stand-up comedy. That's what we do.
And that's a gateway. If you can make people laugh, you can make people listen. Am I wrong?
Right. So that's my form of comedy. See, comedy makes people laugh. It makes people happy. It makes people smile. Some people like to make people angry. And they take these stories and they make people angry.
Okay.
I don't want my audience leaving my show angry. I want them smiling.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's the difference in how we spin these stories.
Okay.
That's the difference in how we grift off these stories.
Okay.
And a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll stay in a low vibration state and keep harping on, the basic bitch takes and, the anger and all of that stuff. And it's like, yeah, all that stuff is important. Yeah, you need emotional control, like da-da-da-da.
Sure,
but
right.
You don't need to explain that to your audience. Your audience knows, everybody knows you need emotional control. Like, if you don't know that, what are you, like 16 years old? Like,
right.
So if you're all adults, we know emotional control. We know, conflict resolution. We know all of these things. So what's the next level of the conversation? Okay. And let's have that conversation, and let's save those other conversations for the fathers or whatever that are in the neighborhood. The mentor work that you do, right? Like I do mentor work. When I coach
absolutely.
kids, right?
Yeah.
So let's save those conversations for the audience needs to have them. But when we have the adults in the room, let's have an adult conversation, and let's take the adults to the next level. Let's create enlightenment.
Okay, very good. Wow, man. Dude, I swear to God, man, sometimes I don't feel like I'm intelligent enough to talk to you, man, because good Lord.
It's not that. I just look at things different.
No,
it's not an intelligence thing. I just look at things different, I am this isn't my first life, I've been here before. I'm a reincarnated ascended master, so I've seen this world a few times in my life. I'm not exactly human. I'm more godlike than anything.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm just a little bit different.
Okay. Let me ask you one. I know I said I had one more question, but I have one more question. I promise, and I'll get you out of here on this.
Yeah.
Should I have, so in the future, because this is not the last time something like this is going to happen. In the future, should we, should I have waited to make, because this happened like, less than 24 hours ago, something like that. Should I have waited maybe to gather all the facts, or like, what would you have done?
Should you wait to get the facts?
Well, yes, of course you should, but I mean, how long should you wait? Because you know about the news. It's not, and you know what's interesting, man. It's not really about getting it right now. It's really about getting there first, right?
Okay. So do you see the issue?
There we go. Yeah,
right.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Denzel talked about this. It's no longer about being right.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being first.
I remember that. Yep.
Right.
I remember that. Yeah.
Clip.
Yep.
So the media has a responsibility. Your media, our media. We have a responsibility.
Yeah.
We can either say, yo, I want to be first, or I want to get it right.
Okay.
Hotep Jesus wants to get it right. Okay. I don't care about being first. I don't care about clicks. I don't care about views. I get access to some of the most exclusive spaces on this planet, and I'm regulars on them. Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Fox News. Yeah.
Fox News.
Yeah.
Right? Tim Cass. I get invited all over the place. And people are like, yo, how the fuck you get invited to these places? And you don't have a large amount of views. And I said, the difference is you have a large amount of views, but you're speaking to small people. I have a small amount of views, but I speak to big people.
Okay. All right.
You see the difference?
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. Your audience is never going to be as big as the rage merchants of the world.
Correct.
Right.
The rage merchants of the world talk to small people. The people that watch my shows make decisions. These are CEOs, CFOs.
Sure.
I have my following has some of the most important people you will ever meet. I
remember you rub elbows with people who are worth 6, 7, and 8 figures, startups, entrepreneurs, things of that nature.
Exactly.
There's not, I don't know, the people you roll with, there's just not that many.
My Facebook ad account got suspended. I
Why?
sent one DM, it was unsuspended in less than an hour. You can't even get somebody at Facebook. I say, yo, my Facebook situation is fucked up. Can you get this unsuspended for me? Yeah, hold on a second. And this individual is in a group chat with a bunch of people that are just powerful. It's just a group chat of powerful people. He made one phone call and my shit came back. So these are the decisions we can make. We can talk to small people and have small conversations, or we could talk to big people and have big conversations. I talk to big people about big people situations and big people concepts. It's big brain content you get from me. And that's why I draw the people I draw. I don't get the viewers of people's shows. Their producers watch my show. When I go on a show, the producers that produce these shows that are way larger than mine, the producers go, you're my favorite content creator. I love your shit. I watch your shit all the time. Producers, I make content for the tastemakers. I don't make content for your average mind. I don't want the average mind, because the average mind is derelict. It's feeble. It's fickle. It's inconsistent. It's undisciplined. It's impatient. Right?
Yeah.
It wants to be fed negativity.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't
makes
want
sense.
those people. I want mature people that come to have fun, and we can just be adults. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
I want to be a childish adult, right? We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to bring out the child in ourselves. But at the end of the day, we're all fucking adults, okay?
That's right.
So I watch people come and they do the rage bait thing. And what happens is they become content on my show. And I go, look at the kids playing. And then the big kids laugh at the little kids. And then we have a big brain conversation about the effects of their behavior.
Gotcha.
And how that's going to change the landscape of America. Who's calling the shots? Where is it coming from? Why is this bot traffic? How does the bot traffic work? What type of software do they use? What's going to change in the future because of this? These are the conversations we have on my channel.
He is Brian Sharp, a.k.a. Brian Sharp. By the way, no relation to Donovan Sharp. He is Brian Sharp, a.k.a. Hotep Jesus. Listen, man, tell the people where they can find you, man. You mentioned that you have a show on Kick. Give us the rundown where you are.
I'm on Kick daily. Yeah, kick.com daily, kick.com/The Grift Report. We talk about all these grifters we were just talking about. Kick.com/The Grift Report. I'm there Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern. You can access that right through my website at hotepjesus.com.
Excellent. Hotep, man, thank you for making time for us, and thank you for making an appearance on such short notice, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sorry to destroy your viewers here. I know they wanted me to say something small brain, but I apologize, bro.
No, that's my job. That's all
right, later, bro.
Job. All right, man, take it easy. So listen, man, Hotep Jesus obviously he's one of the. You know what? It's interesting. I've always looked at Hotep, and don't worry, guys. I'm gonna give my take on this. Hotep Jesus, for my money, he's probably intellectually one of the smartest people I know. Like his intelligence is up there with Kevin Samuels, a guy that I used to know by the name of Kerry Smith, et cetera, et cetera. And this is why when I invited him to the CME, I wanted him to focus on intellect, like intellectual, right? And so this is the reason why I brought him in here. Be that as it may, guys. I was not going to make this I wasn't going to make this a black and white thing. I was actually going to make this a black culture thing. A black culture thing. And so, okay, let me, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to answer a bunch. I'm going to read off the super chats. Then I'm going to give you guys my take. We have all sorts of people, in the chat. I don't know what Reggie Crockett said. Says, bruh, just reading the chat like crazy, like most, if not all of Donovan Sharp's audience are small-brained individuals. No, I think I have one of the, I think we really need to distinguish the difference between, small-brained and big-brained and all that other kind of stuff. My audience is not stupid, I know my audience isn't stupid. As a matter of fact, I think that my audience is probably one of the most educated in terms of interpersonal, sexual dynamics between men and women. And guys, look, I am not going to sit here and cap or front like I am on the same intellectual level as Brian Sharp, aka Hotep Jesus. Stephen A. Smith regularly says I'm brilliant because I know I'm not. So, listen, if you guys are, I know some of you guys came in here because Hotep came in here. The big brain thing, that's what he does. Hotep is smarter than I am. To me, he just has more intelligence than I do. That doesn't mean I think he's any better or worse than I am. But he and I are obviously very, very different people. So he asked me a very interesting question. He said, what is your end game? Now, Hotep's end game was, okay, my end game is I want to bring people to a higher level intellectually. I want them to sort of, be able to read between the lines and things of that nature. And, it appears that he and I are opposed on a lot of this stuff, which is fine. I can have disagreements. With friends. I have disagreements with friends all the time. But guys, what this comes down to, and I didn't think that, it's interesting. I didn't realize, and I guess I should have realized, that Hotep was going to take sort of a political viewpoint of this. I don't see this. I mean, I'm sure that there are some political, implications. But political implications notwithstanding, guys, this is the failure of the black culture. This is the failure of the so-called black community, man. Like, that's what this is. That's what this is, guys. Young black men, they're emotional, they're out of control, and they think that they are justified in being disrespectful. They think they're justified in being rude and occasionally violent when they feel they've been disrespected. Gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that is what took the life of Austin Metcalf. Okay? Carmelo Anthony, the 17-year-old in Frisco, Texas, he had reached a conclusion that apparently he had been disrespected while sitting in the stands at the track meet. And he responded by stabbing Austin Metcalf, which I think he was like a 3.8 or 3.9 student, right? But he was a very, excellent student, member of his church, devout Christian. And you guys know me. I'm not the most overly religious guy, but hey, listen, I'd rather you be religious than not, right? Diamond DJ says, chat, you're living in the Matrix. Diamond DJ, you might as well adapt, and the real niggas can leave the internet but also make money off of it. Oh my God. Ay, ay, ay. Now, Hotep also made a very good point. He made a very good point. He says, well, the reason why this is a big deal, or he made a statement, he said, the reason why this is a big deal is because it was a black kid that stabbed a white kid. And lest we forget, just a few weeks ago, there was a black girl who brained another black girl in the head with the baton. That made national news. That made news, and that was black on black crime, right? Now, it would be disingenuous of me to sit here and say that, the fact that black kid kills white kid didn't, add fuel to the fire. But if this were a black kid stabbing another black kid, we'd still have the same issue. The so-called black community is degenerate. Speaking of degenerate, it is low vibrational programming. This is what the black community is. Okay? The life of someone who was a good student, athlete, member of the church, rising, dude, Division I football prospect. What was he, like 6'1", 210, 220 pounds, right? His parents heavily invested in his life, right? His twin brother's his best friend, sitting right in front of him as Carmelo stabs him in the heart, and the brother holds his twin as Austin Metcalf dies in his arms. And it's interesting. People say, okay, this happens all the time, blah, 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 blah. That's a problem. The fact that this happens all the time is a problem. Diamond DJ says, facts, Donovan, this happens all the time. They only show what you want to see. Diamond DJ, I'm sorry. Now, we can talk about we don't know because we weren't there. Everybody that was there is giving the same account. Everyone's there that is giving the same account, okay? Carmelo Anthony was in a tent that he was not supposed to be in. They asked him to move, and I don't know the words that were said, but they asked him to move. He said, make me. What's his name? Austin grabbed his bag. Next thing you know, Carmelo Anthony stabs him in the heart, and he dies. The other guys die. Okay? We got a problem, gentlemen. We got a problem. Okay? This is not a one-off. This is not a one-off, because the same thing that happened to Austin Metcalf, this is happening to young black men all across the country, okay? Black men all across the country, they're dying because of this quote-unquote culture. They're being shot, they're being stabbed, they're being beat up, they're being brutalized by other young black men who subscribe to this bullshit-ass culture. The hip-hop culture that defines everything in street terms, right? Everything in street terms. To me, it's nihilistic in terms of the, oh my God, you can't be disrespected, and if you do, turn violent. And this prison culture that sort of celebrate that no one wants to speak out about it because, and I think it's because of idolatry. Black ministers won't touch it. They will not touch it, right? We all want to stay within the good graces of Snoop Dogg and Jay-Z and Kendrick Lamar, right? We don't want to criticize, how dare you criticize Jay-Z and, other figures that promote this culture, right? The black culture, gentlemen, is degenerate. It's been degenerate. It's been degenerate. And guys, listen, don't take me back 100 fucking years. Don't take me back 100 years. Talk to me about what happened today. Talk to me about what is happening now. Being fooled into believing that the white man, the white evangelical man, is your enemy and is the source of all your problems. Right? I mean, again, listen. Black men, young black boys, they have been trained and programmed by the music and the movies and the TV, all the propaganda that says your problem is the white man. You should hate the white man. The white man, this is the most important thing, is the white man. Anything that you see is disrespect. I remember this past weekend was the opening week, I think, of UFL. It's the Spring Football League. And the head coach of the DC Defenders, and I forgot what his name is, but apparently Skip Holtz, who is the head coach for the Birmingham Stallions, apparently they were in a hotel and he thought that the DC Defenders coach was a doorman or a bellman, right? And so after the game, they sort of meet in the middle of the field, and God, I wish I'd remembered his name. He didn't want to shake Skip Holtz's hand because he felt disrespected. And then Skip Holtz is like, well, wait a minute. I didn't say those things about you. Right? The black culture is cooked. Just like Luke Perry said, or just like King ZOP says. The black community is a culture of death. It's a culture of death. And listen, we're all influenced. We are all influenced by it. Now, in terms of what happened, obviously, this is Texas, right? Texas, obviously, they take their high school sports, pretty seriously, right? So one school has a tent over the area they're sitting in. It's probably hot in Texas, even though it's April. It's probably hot in Texas, right? So they put the tent out so that the athletes and kids could sit in the shade and, stay hydrated. It's probably some sort of competitive advantage, right? Okay, it is what it is. Right? They're competing in an all-day track meet event. They want to keep their kids hydrated. They don't want the sun, eating them alive and this and that. And, so they put up a little tent, And so the kids from this high school in Frisco, Texas, they see another kid not from their high school sitting underneath their tent. And it sounds like someone said, hey, man, like, this is our tent. You're not a part of the school, whatever. Right? According to the twin brother, Carmelo Anthony starts, talking shit. He starts talking reckless. And so another, 16, 17-year-old kid, and here's the thing, Carmelo Anthony is a former, high school football player, and I think it might be his senior season. I think his senior season was cut short by an injury, whatever the case may be. But, these are two high school athletes, right? Clearly, obviously. Right? And so Austin probably walked up to him and said, hey, man, we asked you to move. The guy's talking shit. Carmelo says, well, make me move. Austin picks up his backpack and probably tries to move it. And this provokes Carmelo Anthony into a violent response, stabs him in the heart. Right? And you know what? It's interesting. Frisco, Texas, for those of you who aren't really aware of Frisco, Texas, did a little bit of research. It's a pretty affluent community. I think Jason Whitlock earlier said it's like the Napa Valley of Texas. It's got, wine country. It's affluent. It's affluent. It's sort of where people move to escape poverty, where they can live amongst family, blah, 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 rich white folks and all that good stuff, right? Right? Well, both of these kids come from supportive families, one white and one black. And I know a lot of you in the community were thinking, hey, you know what? Probably came from a single mother household. No, actually did not come from a single mother household. Do you want to know what failed Carmelo Anthony? What failed Carmelo Anthony was the black culture, the black community. The hip hop culture influenced Carmelo Anthony more than his parents did. I mean, listen, man, from all accounts, for all intents and purposes, he had good parents. We don't know if he did or not, right? I mean, we presume it's kind of hard to say he had good parents. He just stabbed another kid to death, but for all intents and purposes, I guess he had present parents. So So the typical stereotypes, it came from a single, no, This happened in Frisco, Texas. This didn't happen in the hood. This didn't happen in Compton, right? But not both of these kids came from good families. Only one of them was defined by black culture. Black culture. And only one of them has to adhere to black culture. And what we define in black culture is super aggressive, right? Irresponsible. We smoke weed, right? Radical materialism. We're all flashy. It's easy to provoke us into violence, right? We don't tolerate any so-called alleged disrespect. Guys, that's what black culture is. And so when you hear all these people say, well, we're here to do it for the culture, this is what they're talking about. Okay? This is what they're talking about. They've accepted the Hollywood and the music industry definition of hip hop, the definition of black culture. They've accepted that and they try to live up to it. And it's interesting. I would show this picture. But, it's YouTube. But I've seen pictures of Carmelo Anthony posted up with some, with machine guns or M16s or AK-47 or some kind of AR-15, giving people the finger. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, huh? What is this kid doing with an AR-15? This kid lives in an affluent community, right? Carmelo Anthony's got some white friends out there. He's in the Frisco area. He's not somebody who's going to be, sitting around doing this kind of thing. No, the problem is that Carmelo Anthony has been programmed and radicalized in a way that he does not understand. And guys, adults, Gen X, we have allowed it. Gentlemen, we have allowed it. We have co-signed all of this debauchery. We've co-signed all of this buffoonery. All of this ridiculous, this degenerate culture in the form of music that we've celebrated and called our culture. And guys, listen, I'm as guilty of it, or I'm as guilty of this as anybody, right? I was proud of it. I embraced it. I mean, dude, who didn't remember the NWA, right? Niggas with attitude, right? But guys, this is insanity. This is a mass psychosis that is killing and ruining and destroying children of the black community. And it's spilling out and harming other kids. It's no longer just harming black kids. White kids are getting caught up in this shit too. Right? And so we can sit here and say, well, I wasn't there, so I don't know. Why would Hunter, Austin's twin brother, lie about what happened? Why would he lie? Why would he lie and give a false account of the story? No. I believe that listen, there was no video, whatever the case may be, it's all hearsay, but why would Hunter lie about this? Why would he lie about this? Right? Now, here's the thing. The defense will try to come to some sort of, argument to sort of justify what Carmelo Anthony did here. Okay? But honestly, unless I hear them say, well, listen, man, Austin pulled a knife, Austin pulled a gun, Austin, pulled some sort of weapon or pulled out or did something crazy. Guys, this is not justified. Okay? This isn't remotely defensible. Someone saying, hey man, you're sitting in the wrong spot, this is our tent, and then you get up, you start talking shit and make me move. He grabs your backpack. Guys, that does not justify stabbing him in the heart. Doesn't justify stabbing him in the heart, man. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Let's see here. Mr. Hill says, what are you going to do about it, Donovan? So are you telling me that you disagree with my take here, Mr. Hill? Yeah, we talk about niggas here. We talk about nigga shit. Carmelo Anthony acted like a nigga. That's what it is. Carmelo Anthony acted like a nigga. Realway says everybody got guns in Texas. Yeah, everybody's got guns in Texas, but not everybody posts up. Right? Rack 90 says that's why the BET and the CMA awards are totally different. Yeah. One's a degenerate culture. That's the problem. That's the problem. LDN says Hothead is part of the who's Hothead? Wait a minute. Yeah, listen. I know that there are a lot of you who are probably watching me for the first time who probably disagree with my take. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You motherfuckers in the chat who disagree, you guys can kiss my ass. Man, you guys can kiss my fucking ass, dude. Dude, I'm gonna tell y'all what, the black culture is cooked. The black community is fucking cooked. It's cooked. It's Truth Media says, what's white culture? Why are you worried about what white people are doing? See, there we go again. See, that's nigga shit. That's nigga shit right there. That's nigga shit right there. Anytime you tell the truth about black people, black folks, and the nigga shit they do, what's the first thing they do? Well, what do white people do? The fuck's that got to do with anything? No, this is the black community is a cesspool. What the fuck's that got to do with what white people do, man? Well, what's white culture? I don't know. You tell me. I swear to God. I swear to God, man. Yeah, listen, y'all can come up and disagree all you want to. You guys can come up and disagree all you want to, and you guys can try to spin, weave this and that and the third. The bottom line is the black community is fucking cooked, bruh. The black community is fucking cooked. And you guys know it. You guys know it. And then Netflix comes out with this mini series. Yeah, it's Andrew Tate's fault. The Manosphere did it. Are you kidding me? Seriously? Both of these young men, their adolescence has been taken from them. Austin Metcalf is dead, and Carmelo Anthony is probably going to serve a fairly long prison sentence. Both of these young men, if we're going to keep it Netflix, had both of these young men had their adolescence stolen by a culture. Stolen by a culture. And nobody really objects to a culture that's preached in the music, that's preached in movies, that's preached in television shows. But no, it's the white men who are the most evil, right? White men are the most evil people on the planet. And every black person should run around and look for examples of wickedness in the evangelical white men. And you must stamp it out. You must get in the face of white people and say, I will not tolerate your disrespect. And if they defend it in any type of way, they go ahead and get violent with it. This is a crisis, gentlemen. This is a crisis. And if it keeps going like this, you know what? It's interesting. I'll put it to you like this, too. Devin actually sent me an article. Devin sent me an article that said that black people now make up 14% of the population in the United States. I don't know. In a couple of years, that might actually go back down again. And you know what? It's interesting. People will think, well, you know what? I'm just harming white people. I'm just fucking with white people by being racist, right? I'm just giving white people a taste of their own medicine. No, you fucking idiots. You're radicalizing your own kids. You're radicalizing your own children. You're instilling in them an emotion that is easily triggered and easily spins out of control. And now, Austin Metcalf's family and Carmelo Anthony's family, they have to deal with the fact that this culture took both of their lives. This culture took both of their lives, guys. Let's see. Matt is being disingenuous. Let's see here. Matt says that's the divide Hotep was alluding to. Stories like this are meant to get people pissed off and divided. Maybe it clicks. If you think first before you can react, you can see it for what it is. Look, man, guys, I don't know. How can I put this? I think a lot of you guys, I think a lot of you guys are, you guys got to understand, not all black people are the same. Okay? Not all black people are the same. I'm not the political guy. I'm not listen, I'm sure that there are implications and da-da-da. And listen, I'm sure the story will be spun and used correctly or incorrectly. That's fine. But at the end of the day, Carmelo Anthony was fucking wrong to stab Austin Metcalf to death. Listen, man. Listen, you guys can give me all sorts of word salad and all sorts of intelligent. Carmelo Anthony's wrong. Carmelo Anthony is wrong. Carmelo Anthony is the manifestation of everything that is wrong in the black community. And here's the thing. This wouldn't be as big a story if Carmelo Anthony was a hood nigga. If it was a hood nigga that stabbed some white boy, okay, I see the point. Carmelo Anthony ain't no hood nigga. He's not. Carmelo Anthony is not a hood nigga. Okay? Carmelo Anthony came from a 2-parent household. He presumably lives in Frisco, Texas. Okay? It is not his. I'm sure his parents have some responsibility, but guys, the black culture is what led Carmelo Anthony astray. It would be easy for us to sit here and say, well, it's because he came from a fatherless home. Well, it's because his father wasn't there and is, raised by a single mother, blah, 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 blah. No, none of that was true. None of that was true. The common denominator is black culture, the cesspool that is the black community. Red Pill Crip, oh wow, with the $5 super chat, says, yo, Donovan, salute, homie. I'm from the hood, and I hold my people accountable all the time, and they shame me. Still, I remain to speak the truth like you. Exactly. See, listen, man. Black people don't mind hearing the truth. Niggas don't like the truth. Matari Sensei says, you've clearly never read Thomas Sowell. No, I haven't, but I actually have a pretty good friend who's actually pretty good friends with Thomas Sowell. Her name is Pearl Davis. Mr. Hill says, talking like he knows their life story. No, I don't know their life story, Mr. Hill. I don't know their life story. But I do know this. Carmelo Anthony is going to prison for murder. What Carmelo Anthony did was wrong. Period. Guys, I don't know what the argument here is. I'm like, why are we? I gotta understand. I gotta understand here. Are we justifying what Carmelo Anthony did here? Like everyone's trying to politicize this and all this other kind of stuff. I'm not smart enough for all of that. All I know is that killing people is wrong. Carmelo Anthony killed another student for a reason he should not have killed him. The dude they said, hey, can you move? He says, make me. They moved his bag, he stabs him. That's an overreaction. I mean, so listen, talking like I know their life story? Yeah, probably. I don't know their life story. I don't know Carmelo Anthony's life story. I really, really do. Or I really don't. But the bottom line is that what Carmelo Anthony did was wrong. I'm not here to talk about the implications, guys. I'm not here to talk about, what's political, and I'm not smart enough for that. I'm not smart enough for all of that, okay? All I know is that the black community and the black culture negatively affected Carmelo Anthony, so much to the point he got overly emotional, and now his life is over. His life is over. It's Truth Media says, no argument. I'm just hating on you, tearing down the black culture with no solutions and isolating us. I don't tear down the black community, it's Truth Media. I tell the truth about it. I'm not tearing down the black community, my friend. The black community does a pretty goddamn good job of doing that all by itself. I don't make the rules, my friend. I simply report them. I simply talk about what's going on. This kid was negatively affected by the black community. He was the black community is a cesspool. And so people come in here and say, well, if you're not going to give us solutions, then you shouldn't talk about it. No, fuck you. Shut the fuck up. I'll talk about what the fuck I want to talk about. I don't have to give solutions. You want to know what my solution is? Check this out. You want to know what my solution is? Get the fuck out of the hood, nigga. You want a solution? Y'all want a solution? Check this out. You want solutions? And I'm being dead ass here. I'm being dead fucking ass here. Okay? Stay away from niggas. That's my solution. Stay away from niggas. You want to know why? Because niggas don't want to change. Niggas don't want to change. They want to run him up, shoot him up. He disrespected me. I'm gonna be violent here. And even and you want to know the thing about this is the thing about this, pardon me, is that I perpetuated this. I perpetuated this even. I'm as guilty as anyone. I'm as guilty of this as anyone. I always joke around. There are two types of people in the world. Those who get ready and those who stay ready. That's nigga culture, y'all. That's nigga culture. And again, and guys, I perpetuated this stuff. I got overly emotional. I caught charges. I was a victim of that. I'm not, dude, listen, you guys are not going to catch me saying, no, those people. No, man. I was as big a part of it as anybody. I am as guilty as anyone here for perpetuating the negative stereotypes that comes with, being a black man in the U.S. So you want to know what my solution was? I got the fuck out of Vegas. I got some counseling, pardon me, and I stopped getting into fights. That's how I did it. I think you guys, listen, man, I think you niggas in the chat have a problem with the fact that I'm actually talking about this stuff. And that's the problem with niggas. Y'all don't like to talk about it. And anybody that talks about it, oh, you're an Uncle Tom, you're a sellout, you're a coon. Whatever. Say whatever it is you want. You guys can politicize it any old kind of way. The fact of the matter is, the black community is done. It's cooked. The black community is done. It is fucking cooked. The black community is the laughingstock of the fucking world. So much so, we got high school kids stabbing other high school kids because they felt disrespected. Insanity. Insane. See, It's Truth Media said whites isolate their self by first segregating. Okay, first of all, It's Truth Media. Let's learn to spell. Okay? Let's learn to spell. Whites isolate their, THEIR, themselves by first segregating. That's the first thing. Number two, once again, well, what do white people do wrong? No, get your house in order. This is what niggas do. This is the difference between black people and niggas. Black people say, you know what? There's a big problem. I'm going to remove myself from this situation because I know that the nigga culture is not for me. You know what niggas do? Well, white people did it first. White people are responsible for it. Okay, well, what are you going to do about it? All niggas do when you tell the truth about the black community is white people did it. White people are the reason why we're in this position. White people. That's why y'all don't get no goddamn where, man. That's why I don't get anywhere. You want to know? The reason why I live where I live is because I don't want to be around niggas. No, sir. I do not want to. I do not want to live around niggas. Sorry. Let's see here. I had a burp. Hang on. Sorry about that. Sorry, guys. I was trying to burp. I couldn't do it. There we go. Anyway, what's going on with young people as a whole is because there's this it's almost like a nihilistic mentality across America and really globally. But as it relates to black kids and this black culture that's been defined for us, this problem, it's really acute, gentlemen. And we have to muster the courage to reject it. And it doesn't really take courage. All it takes is just the willingness to stand up and say, you know what, enough is enough. Stand your fucking ground, man. Call this bullshit out for what it is. When they put Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Kendrick Lamar up as a halftime show, you got to be willing to say to Roger Goodell in the NFL, what the fuck are you doing? Man? Jason Whitlock talked about this earlier. What, 90% of people who are at the Super Bowl were white? 70% of people watching the Super Bowl are white, yet we got Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Kendrick Lamar. Why? Because they're trying to push this shit onto y'all, man. Right? This is a culture of death. ESPN's not going to talk about this. Mainstream media is not going to talk about this. Right? No one's going to talk about this. But as soon as a guy like me comes across, oh, he going to learn today. Cool. Stay a nigga, nigga. Stay a nigga, nigga. Sorry. 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 Let's see here. Yeah, Heavy Chevy guy says he's right. Keep those ninjas away from me. Absolutely. Jonathan D. Cruz says, I hope he gets charged as an adult and serves his time in big boy prison. Oh, he will be charged as an adult. He will be charged as an adult. I'll tell you this, though. I'll tell you this. If he isn't charged as an adult, or even worse, if he isn't convicted, guess what? Guess what there isn't going to be? There isn't going to be riots. There isn't going to be riots. White people aren't going to riot. They're not going to do that. No, that's what niggas do. Niggas riot. Oh, ooh, pardon me. Real Drew Morgan with the $1 Rumble rant says, first time here, just looking for some live action on Rumble, and I think you're speaking in truths. Yeah, man. Look, dude. I mean, listen. There it is. Dewey says, flip the races and nobody's flip the races and nobody cares. Stop coping. Incredible, man. Incredible. Draconis 36 says George Soros is standing by. And again, guys, I'm not going to sit here and try to, come here and package myself as this, political. Listen, I'm sure that there's going to be all sorts of political jockeying going on. Okay? I'm sure there's all sorts of listen, look. I'm not smart enough for that sort of intellectual discussions. That's not what I do here. No. What I do here is I call out the degeneracy of the black culture, of the black community. The so-called black community is failing its people. The black community is failing its people. Matt says, hell, I didn't even hear about this story until I got off work. Yeah, you're not going to hear about this in mainstream media, guys. If it had been a white kid that stabbed a black kid, yeah, it'd be all over the news. But nope, it was a black kid. So we have people actually defending this. I can't, guys, I can't believe it is extremely difficult for me to believe and to stomach the fact that there are actually people in my own chat, well, not my own chat, but actually people in my chat saying, yeah, but I'm telling you guys that Carmelo Anthony is 112% wrong for stabbing this kid to death. And you guys are, yeah, but I'm telling you, the black community, the so-called black community, is responsible for turning this kid into a cold-blooded killer. And you guys are like, yeah, but. Yeah, Luke Perry says people defending this nigga like he's OJ. Right. Seriously. Come on, man. Come on. That's how this is. That's how this is. It's Truth Media says Hotep's been told you come on at 8. I don't know what you're talking about. It's Truth Media says, nah, he shouldn't have grabbed him. You know what? Let's say that Austin did grab him. No, he should not have grabbed him. If he did. Okay? But to respond to someone grabbing you, listen, if he had beaten him up or whatever, okay, fine. Hey, don't put your hands on another man. Don't start, nothing won't be nothing. Don't start, nothing won't be nothing. Right? But dude, like, come on, you got to kill a fly with a sledgehammer? You got to stab the kid? Like, what are you doing bringing a knife to, what are you bringing a knife to to a track meet for? Right? Connor Brown says he didn't grab him, he grabbed his bag. I mean, it's just I just like, guys, this is what's wrong with niggas, man. He shouldn't have grabbed him. Okay. But that doesn't justify stabbing the dude to death. Like, what are we doing? Like, what in the world are we doing? Ay. Gentlemen, this is a mentality that's being taught, that's being promoted, affirmed, endorsed, that white people deserve no mercy and that their history is so evil that anything we do to them in retribution is justified. And that's exactly what the fuck this is. That's exactly what the fuck you niggas in the chat are talking about. That's what you guys are doing. Well, what do white people do? So what you're telling us is that Carmelo Anthony was justified in stabbing Austin Metcalf to death. If you think that Carmelo Anthony, let me ask you guys a question. Hold on a second. Because I think a lot of you guys are trying to diffuse and maybe obfuscate. I don't even know if that's the right word. You guys are trying to, skew the real issue here. Okay? Does anyone in the chat think that Carmelo Anthony was justified in stabbing Austin Metcalf to death? Yes or no? And listen, if you say he wasn't justified in it, I don't need to hear it. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. I don't need to hear, listen, man, Carmelo Anthony should not have stabbed him, but there is no buts. There's no but. If someone grabbed, seriously, someone grabbed your bag, someone grabbed your bag, and you got stabbed to death for it. Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. And I don't want to hear nothing about nobody else. I don't want to hear about Trayvon Martin. I don't want to hear about George Floyd. No. We're talking about Carmelo Anthony. We're talking about Carmelo Anthony. Was Carmelo Anthony justified in stabbing Austin Metcalf to death? The answer, of course, is no. And whether Austin Metcalf were white or black, this would still be a story because the dude that stabbed him was a black dude. The dude that stabbed him was a black dude. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because this is what the black culture, this is what the black community endorses. Rap culture, hip hop culture. We have an entire generation of young black people who think that white people are so evil that anything we do to them in retribution is justified. Right? Guys, this is insanity. You're this anti-white bigotry. Guys, it's killing your kids. It's killing black kids, it's killing white kids. It's killing you. It's a poison, it's a toxin. Man, like, dude, young black men have so little emotional control because that's what goes along with the entitlement. That's really what this is about, guys. The entitlement. See, entitlement creates anger. Entitlement creates animus. You feel like you're owed something, right? You feel like you're above the rules and command respect because, all these bad things happened in the past. All these bad things happened in the past. Slavery and segregation. So anything that I do today is justified. No. That's no. 2 lives were lost yesterday. 2 lives were lost yesterday. You got people running around here. You got people running around here talking about Talking about shit that happened 50 years, 150 years ago. Nigga, you weren't even alive. You weren't even alive, man. Y'all out here running around mad about Emmett Till got murdered. I'm mad. Bruh, you weren't even around in 1955. The fuck are you mad about that for? Oh, the Tulsa Massacre, blah, 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 blah. Bruh, that was in the 1920s. You weren't even alive. Oh, someone did some sort of microaggression towards me. So what? It did no harm. It did absolutely no harm. So, the black community, look, the black culture, the so-called black community, you are sentencing your kids to death with the mentality that you are promoting and affirming. And you are tolerating this you're tolerating this nigga culture by letting blackness be defined as hip hop, letting blackness being defined as degeneracy, buffoonery, unchecked violence, gang culture. Every time you let your kid out of the house, every time these parents are letting their kids out of the house with their pants hanging off his ass, you are affirming prison culture. Every time you let your kid get tatted up like a gang member, you are affirming prison culture. It's all blowing up in our face. It's all blowing up in their faces. It's destroying the black community. We don't even want to be around each other. We don't even want to be around each other. Anytime any of us get some money, what's the first thing we're thinking? How can I get the fuck away from here? How can I get the fuck away from here? That's why. That's why. I have to sneeze. hang on, y'all. Oh, God, I have to sneeze so bad. All right, never mind. Never mind. I just want to make sure we all understand the cost of this victim mentality, this disrespect culture, right? You're filling your kids up with the belief that they're a victim and that America's against them. All right, don't offer, don't offer America on your, next door neighbor, any random white person, any grace or mercy. No, get in their face, do something aggressive, let them know you've been disrespected. Yeah, this is just fine. It just affects white people. No, this is what black people dealt with back in the 1940s and 50s, right? And in their minds, you guys are thinking, well, why shouldn't white people have to go through it? Why shouldn't white people have to go through racial animus? Nigga, you weren't even alive back then, bruh. Crazy, man. Crazy. Rack 90 says Tyler Perry made that silly movie about women delivering mail in the military. Oh, yeah, what's it called? Hidden Figures or something like that? It's Truth Media says, Don, he's a superstar athlete at an all-white school. He was bullying Carmelo, and he had enough. Do you guys hear this? Do you guys hear this? Seriously? You're gonna characterize what happened as them bullying him at an all-white school? Guys, listen, it's Truth Media, you're a nigga. It's Truth Media, you are a nigga, bruh. Let me turn on the niggadar. There we go. There we go. You are absolutely a nigga. Oh, wait a minute. Oops, sorry about that.
Austin's twin brother.
Sorry about that.
Hunter Metcalf, who
my
tried
bad, my
to
bad.
Jeff Metcalf.
You are a nigga. Are you seriously? You are seriously going to sit here and tell me that he was at an all-white school and they were bullying him, and so that justified him stabbing to death? You serious? You gotta be kidding me, man. You gotta be kidding me. No, seriously, hold on. Let me, I'm gonna put this up here just so y'all can see. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. This is what, guys, this is what's wrong with y'all, man.
Says
this is what's
it
wrong.
was Austin's
Sorry about
twin
that.
brother, Hunter.
Damn it, stop. Don't need to hear all that. Look at this. Let me blow this up here. Don, he's a superstar athlete at an all-white school. He was bullying Carmelo and he had enough. No, that's not what happened. It's Truth Media. Oh, there it is. This Truth Media said it's self-defense. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ay, ay, ay. ITM, it's Truth Media. You're a nigga. You are. You are, bruh. And this is what's, guys, this is what's wrong with the black community. It was self-defense. Okay, well, It's Truth Media seems to think that this is funny. So, all right, I think you're just in here to troll. So you got to go. See you later. And now that you're gone, now I'm going to really talk shit about you. Guys, niggas like this, comments like this is what perpetuates this. This is what perpetuates this. Yeah, very good point. This is absolutely ignorant. Absolutely ignorant. Draconis says, I've said it for decades, gangster rap is a cancer. Matt says this wasn't self-defense. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's Truth Media. You know what? Hang on a second. Let's go back and forth on this. Let's go back and forth on this. I'm gonna go to the hashtag Pull Up Studios. I'm gonna go to the hashtag Pull Up Studios. There we go. Anybody who thinks that anybody who defends or thinks that this dude was justified in doing what he did, pull up, please. I encourage you. Let me go ahead and put this up here. Oops. It's Truth Media. Oops. It's Truth Media. Pull up. Anybody who thinks that that this was justified and that there is nothing wrong, or you think that this is self-defense, pull up. Guys, this is incredible. Because I'll tell you this. If it was a white student who stabbed a black student, you would not be calling it self-defense. You would be calling it exactly what it is. Murder. Murder. So it's Truth Media. I know you're in here watching because I can still see. Yeah, you're still in here. If you think it's self-defense, please come on up. I mean, unless there's something I'm not aware of. Boy, it's getting hot in here. Hang on, I'm gonna turn on my fan here. Ooh, it's hot. Holy moly. My computer's putting out the BTUs over here. J828 says the family of the victim needs reparations. No, nobody needs reparations. And guys, look, let me show you guys a couple of pictures here. This right here, guys, you see this? You guys see this? This is nigga culture, y'all. This is nigga culture, man. This is what has effectively ended the lives of both young men. Look at this. Look at this. Incredible. There we go. You see that? See that? Jay Sanchez says self-defense is only if the killer was physically threatened. He wasn't physically threatened. He wasn't physically threatened. He said, hey, look, you're not supposed to be here. He said, make me move. He grabbed his bag. He got stabbed to death. Oh, wait a minute. Looks like we might have somebody here. Give me a second. It's Truth Media, bro. I am not about. Oh my God. It's Truth Media. You got to show your face, Negro. You got to show your face, Negro. I'm sorry. There. No, bruh. Nah, bruh. Don't do that. I don't need to see your fingers, Negro. I need to see your goddamn face. You ain't gonna be slick like that. See, I swear to God, you niggas be cowards. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I knew you were a fucking fat ass. Fucking fat dude, fat niggas. Look at you. Bruh, you know I can't hear what the fuck you're saying. You know I can't hear what the fuck you're saying, bruh. Can't nobody hear you. You look, y'all want to know what this nigga looks like? Hold on, I'll show y'all what this dumb nigga looks like. It's Truth Media. Look at him, hiding himself in the camera. Look at you. Look at you. It's Truth Media. Nigga, if you're in the media, nigga, then show your goddamn face. Look at this cowardly ass nigga. And this is funny. So he's trying to make us think that he's having a good time trolling us. Guys, this man right here is exactly what's wrong with niggas. Nigga culture. He wants to talk all the shit in the chat. I am giving you an opportunity to talk to me face to face about this, but no, you got the camera all around. You're acting like you're acting like these bitches that used to try to call in and troll Kevin Samuels. I don't need to see your raggedy ass hairline, nigga. I need to see your whole face, bruh. Let me see your whole face. Look at him. He knows what he's doing. Where you at? Oh, yeah. Now he turned off the camera. Yeah, there he go. There it is. I swear to God, man. I swear to God, niggas are all the goddamn same. Cowardly ass nigga. Nigga, nobody can hear. Oh, yeah, there he goes. He's out. Bruh, I don't know what you're, bruh, I can't hear you. Nobody can hear you, bruh. Nobody can hear you. Okay? So, listen, you need to, I'm sure you have a phone holder. See, here's what's happening, guys. So he's using the excuse, well, I'm driving, so I can't know. I'm sure you have a phone mount. Bro, I can't hear anything you're saying, bruh. I have no idea. I have this nigga. I swear to God, niggas. There's Jay Blaze. Nigga, mount your phone, bruh. Mount your phone and I'll bring you up. Dumb niggas. All right, Jay Blaze. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I think there was a problem last time. Okay, what are your thoughts? Now, Jay Blaze, you're white, right? So you know the niggas. So you know the niggas in the chat. They're not going to take too kindly to a white person talking about a black issue here. So what you got for me, man?
So I'm nowhere near as deep as Hotep Jesus. I'll just say that.
Oh Jesus, me neither, man. That dude is smarter than the both of us combined times 10. Jesus.
But the thing I was looking at it from was, remember in the early 2000s where you had 2006, you had Coach Carter, and then you had 2007 with Gridiron Gang. You had an effort to curb this, where you had people saying, hey, we're going to try and get along and against like gang culture and stuff. We don't have movies like that anymore. In like the early 90s, we had like a very like almost like Christian values. If you remember Kevin Sorbo from Hercules.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Hercules always did the right thing. So you could put your kid in front of Hercules and knew he is getting put into good values. Same with Lois and Clark from with Dean Cain.
Yeah, Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher. That's right. Yeah.
So I think parents in that we kind of got lazy, and we could say, hey, we can have the media like take the reins in a way for like a couple hours. Yeah. But then we had like the iPad babies. And dude, this all comes down to with this kid. I don't know we don't know the specifics, but dude, this comes down to like the male like rites of passage.
Okay.
Where
Yep.
I think it is because they're going into places because I showed you the IG photos this guy had.
Yes, that's the one I put up there. Yeah.
He's looking for like belonging. But it's like the black culture is like they're pushing degeneracy, like
Yeah,
with
man.
hip hop music and stuff. And instead, we should be curbing it for, hey, how can we like promote better families, better values? So that's what I would hope we could do.
Yeah, man. The people in the chat are saying Coach Carter was a phenomenal movie. I never saw that, and Coach Carter and I think the Gridiron Gang was with The Rock too. So I might want to go and check those out, man. So you're telling me that these movies were, you're telling me that these movies sort of taught us to go away from reacting emotionally and or reacting with violence and emotional control and all that.
So you had in Coach Carter, you had Carter's son, who was like a kind of like the straight A guy, but then you also had one of the other players who was getting into the gang life, and something happened to him. So then he went back and tried to get back on the team, and Coach's like, "Hey, just like let's hug it out."
Don't spoil it for me because I want to watch it because now I want to watch it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and same with the Gridiron Gang. You had in that movie, the kid had to make a choice between his like the Crips or whatever, and one of the other players in the team that was in an opposing gang, and he chose that kid. And they made a point where, because he chose that, this is working.
Wow, incredible, man!
And we don't have that morality in our media anymore, and we need to get back to that.
Yeah.
But we're pushing the woke bullshit, and we need to get because we don't have as many because we have the two parents need to work.
Right.
The school system is failing clearly, and
Obviously.
the media, we used to have like a little bit of a crutch for it. We need to get back to the media pushing values. And dude, this is has many similarities to John Morant. But
oh my god,
I texted
yes. Oh my god,
Because,
dude.
Like John Morant has two parents. He's
good
gonna
parents.
Well, the father looks like he became best friends with Ja instead of becoming a father more.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
that's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
We go for adolescence where we can't have those conversations because they've race swapped the kid in adolescence. So we can't have the conversation of the culture affecting the adolescent kid.
Jesus, man. Unbelievable. Because if we do, then we get canceled, effectively hidden, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly.
By the way, this weekend I am, Dev and I are going to watch Godzilla -1.
Oh my word. It's so good. And dude, it was $15 million to make that movie.
What?
15
Wow.
Yeah.
That was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely
It just shows you all of Hollywood where they're just so bloated that, yeah.
Okay.
We'll get into it later on, but yeah, it's definitely a watch.
He is Jay Blaze. He will be on with me. We are going to have a pre-draft and a draft night special for Chop Block Sports Talk, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for stopping in, Blaze. I appreciate it, man.
Later.
All right, Jay Blaze, one of my homeboys, one of the original TSR OGs. I was hoping that old boy was back, but I guess not. We have another nigga comment in here. Tabitha Goins says, the devil is in the details surrounding the argument the two of them had. The family got in front of the media quickly, but they stopped talking about what happened or what all was said. I don't give a fuck what was said, Tabitha. There is nothing that you can say to another person in that context that would justify stabbing someone to death. Yeah, I mean, do you hear all of the excuses? Do you hear all of the excuses that niggas are using? Self-defense. You weren't there, so you don't know. The devil's in the details. I don't need the details. I don't need the details. If you have so little emotional control that you stab someone to death because of something they said to you, even if they call you a nigger, you're still going to fucking prison. Honestly, seriously, Tabitha, what could have possibly been said? Seriously, what could have possibly been said that justifies Carmelo Anthony taking a knife and stabbing Austin Metcalf in the heart and ending his life? It's excuses, excuses, excuses. It's all excuses, man. This is what niggas do, y'all. This is what niggas do. And again, I'm not going to sit here and try to and paint myself as this bastion of morality. Guys, I have made many, many illegal mistakes. I have written bad checks. I've beaten the shit out of people. I've done all that shit. I've been arrested 30 some odd times. Listen, I am not the dude who is going to sit here and stare down my nose at you from on high in the moral cathedral. That is absolutely not me. Because I will readily admit that I am as guilty as anyone for either directly or indirectly perpetuating nigga culture. Okay? 4-time convicted felon, all of them violent felonies. None involved weapons except for these. I have done serious damage with these hands. All because of what? Lack of emotional control. Some guy came up to me in a grocery store and mouthed off to me. You know what I did? I decked him. That was my second felony. This guy was talking a bunch of shit, and I just cold cocked him, dropped him. Fucking caved in his face. You could see the dent in his face, man. Like, I fucked that dude all the way up. That's not what I should have done. Honestly, I should have just turned back around and ordered my pizza. Nope. I let my emotions get the better of me, and I caved the guy's face in. That was not the right thing to do. And that's what I was explaining to Brian or Hotep Jesus. That's what, like I felt, I don't, this guy, Carmelo Anthony, like, I used to be him. Not to the degree that I'm going to stab somebody to death, but again, I'm not going to, nothing justifies me hitting someone because of something they said to me. That's absolutely crazy. Planet Rodella says, was it on camera when you beat him up? I didn't beat him up. I hit him. Guys, listen, I'm a big guy, right? I'm 6'2", 235, 240, right? Even though I'm big, guys, I'm so much stronger than I look, guys. I'm so much stronger than I look. I really am, dude. I really am. I really, really am. Like, I can inflict a lot of damage with a little effort. Okay? Like, this is just how it is. And this is why they charge me with, guys, they don't charge you with felonies for beating the shit out of someone unless there's serious damage. Okay? And I'm not proud of this. But again, I'm using this as an example. 2 grown men have had to have facial reconstructive surgery because of the damage I inflicted on them with my fists. This is why I was charged with aggravated felony assault. Okay? Listen, this culture wants to say, well, let your emotions go. No, do not let your emotions go. You have to control your emotions. Emotional men are dangerous men. Okay? Emotional men are dangerous men. I was dangerous back then because I had no emotional control. No emotional control. Carmelo Anthony was a dangerous man because he had no emotional control. This guy had so little emotional control, he took a knife and stabbed someone in the heart. What are we doing? What are we doing? And then we actually have people in here justifying, dude, we have people in here justifying the dude's actions. You don't know, Donovan, and you don't know what the argument was about. I don't care what the argument was about. Why in the world, dude, why in the world would you kill someone for touching your back? Weak niggas, man. Weak niggas. Matt in the chat says violence usually comes from emotions for sure. 100%, man. 100%, guys. Dude, oh my God, dude. It makes me like it. Oh, dude. I've spent over $250,000 in legal fees, y'all. $250,000 fucking dollars on legal fees. Like, guys, like that's. Mason Jones says, well, Donovan, they did not know how to fight. If they were fighters, you would have gotten fucked up. Love you, Don. Well, I'll tell you this. Listen, you can tell me all you want to. Nobody was fucking with me. Nobody was fucking with me. Somebody said, Winner said you can kill it on the deadlift, though. Oh, of course. Winner says Donovan's got that E-tard strength with the R. Wow. Yeah. Juan Martinez says, damn, just read the article, wild man. Back in my day, we just put on the gloves. Motherfucker had no justification to stab him and aim to kill him. Shit, you know what I'm saying? It's Truth Media. It's Truth Media. If you're still in here, man, if you're still in here, pull up, bruh. Pull up. Pull up, man. Listen. If you pull up, I'm not going to hurl the insults or whatever. Just, if you pull up, we can have a civil discussion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mason Jones says, yeah, well, Donovan, if they did not know how to fight, what makes you think they did? What makes you think that I don't know how to fight? Right? Like, I mean, what do you expect? What would he want to be his face? Well, if he was Francis Ngannou, well, of course Francis Ngannou's going to fuck me up. Of course Daniel Cormier, Justin Gaethje, of course those guys have fucked me up. They're professional fucking fighters. Come on, man. And I tell you guys all the time, I used to tell you guys all the time, there are a few men in this world I would not throw hands with. I would never, people that I know, I would not throw hands with my friend Jesus. Oh my God, I will never. Dude, Jesus is oh my God, biggest. Dude, this dude was probably 6'6", probably close to 400 pounds. Biggest fucking Mexican you ever saw. Dude, and the guy was a fucking teddy bear. One of the coolest guys you'll ever meet. His hands were the size of my fist. He used to bounce at a strip club I used to frequent. I would never, ever fight Jesus. I will never fight Ed Lattimore. That is a heavyweight boxer with a professional record of 13-1. I value my life and my face. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Reverend Brown says Donovan is Lenny from Of Mice and Men. Come on, man. Come on, y'all. Oh, come on. I'm not Lenny. I might have Lenny's strength, but I'm not Lenny up top. Come on. Come on. That's actually pretty funny. Look, I'm trying to be offended by that, but that's actually pretty funny. Oh, my God. Dan Herb says, funny how you won't fight bigger than you. Au contraire, Dan Herbs. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, most fights, and Ed Lattimore is not bigger than me. Ed Lattimore is probably an inch shorter, and I'm probably giving away, he's probably giving away about 20 pounds. No, I have fought many, many people who are bigger than me, and this is interesting. And I'll get back to the topic, but this is something that a lot of you guys probably do not know. It's funny, I was talking to Devin about this the other day. You guys got to understand the difference between, how can I put this? Just because someone looks strong doesn't mean that they are strong. Okay, so somebody can bench press 500 pounds. Can they throw a punch? Can they throw a punch? Do they know how to shift? Do they know that when you throw a punch, it starts from the ground? If they don't know that, they're weak. Dude, I've been tagged cleanly by guys I thought I'd get knocked out by. Clack. And in a split second, I'm like, oh shit, wait a minute. I thought I'd be asleep, but this guy's not as strong as I thought. You hit him with the right, you knock him out with the left, all of a sudden he's got a glass jaw. So no. Only a coward, Dan. Only a coward fights a man he knows he can beat. Only a coward fights a man he knows he can beat. And there have been, I've had plenty of opportunities to beat I have had the opportunities to give people lyrical beatdowns. But I knew I was going to win the fight, so I stayed away from it. I'm like, no. I know I can kill you, so I'm not going to, right? You guys know how that goes. But yeah, just because someone is bigger than you does not mean that they are stronger than you. And I have fought many, many men who are larger than me. And they thought that, and it's funny, you can see that they clearly underestimate me because as soon as, dude, I land that first punch and you can see the shock in their face. You can see the shock in their face. You absolutely fight. They're like, oh shit, wait a minute. Next thing you know, I'm skull crushing. Yes, look for the cauliflower ear. Never, ever, ever fight anyone with cauliflower ear. I've never made that mistake before in my life. I've lost 3 fights in my life. One of them I don't remember. One guy, and I'll get back to this. One guy hit me, guys, listen, true story. One guy hit me so hard. Hitting the ground is what woke me up. Okay? He hit me with a right. Put me right to sleep. I fall backwards. I hit the ground. I wake up just in time. I had the presence of mind to cover up. He hit me so, he hit me so hard. Hitting the ground woke me up. Wine Guy says, what if he called him the N-word? That does not justify stabbing someone to death. Let's play that scenario that Wine Guy. Let's play that scenario that Wine Guy just said. Hey, you're not supposed to be in our tent. You need to move. Make me. Niggers are not allowed in the tent. And he stabs him to death. Nope, sorry. Sorry, bruh. Sorry. BS Profile says he hit you with that NyQuil, bro. Oh my God, yo, dude, yo, that dude put me to. He hit me so hard when I hit the ground it woke me up. Edward says Martin Luther King didn't do anything when someone called him that. Right, Martin Luther King obviously preached nonviolence. Connor Brown says imagine killing someone over a word. Exactly. Steve-O says, Donovan, what if you were a 5'4" make? Would you still fight someone who was 5'11", 6 foot? Well, no, I wouldn't fight anybody now. I'm not fighting anybody now. Rack 90 says, the N-word, are we serious? Sticks and stones, my brother, but words can never hurt you. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's so funny. Niggas want to get offended over the word nigger just to give themselves an excuse to wild out. That's it. That's it. Kyle 2020 says, I am too crazy not to fight a guy bigger. My dad just recently told me that my grandpa knocked out a guy twice his size. The men in my family are monsters. Guys, I'm telling you, size does not always equal strength. And guys, I am living proof of that. Man. Real talk. Juan Martinez says, I've been called a wetback and have gotten my ass whooped. That doesn't mean I'm a kill for it. Take the damn loss and move on. Absolutely. Oh my God, absolutely. Absolutely. Dan Erb says, I appreciate you for sharing the loss. That shows humility. Yeah, man, I underestimated that dude. Dude, he came up. Dude, he hit me with that overhead right. Boom. Went right the fuck to sleep. I hit the ground. I woke up. I was like, oh, shit. Dude, I'll never forget. And I'm thinking this guy's going to jump on me and crack my ribs, but he didn't do anything else. I was like, okay, all right. You got it. No, you got it. The point is, guys, is that there is absolutely no justification for Carmelo Anthony to do what he did and to that degree. And, you know, like, and it's interesting when Hotep was asking me, why is it important that you have an opinion on this? I don't know, man. I think it's because I know what it's like to be fucking angry. You know what I mean? Like, I know what it's like to be like angry all the time. Listen, you guys actually saw it a couple of days ago. I didn't have any kratom. I had no kratom. Something minor happened. My microphone malfunctioned. Guys, I had no energy, but my hands were white hot. I was ready to destroy the studio over a silly microphone. That was probably the most legendary moment. In podcast history. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And see, as you guys can see, I am still as cool and calm as a cucumber. Holy shit. What the hell is going on around here? That was fucking crazy. That was fucking crazy. What the hell? Dude, that shit literally just... I'm gonna kick my microphone's ass. That thing literally just said boom. But in all seriousness, guys, you guys know, and listen, for those of you guys watching me for the very first time, King ZOP says mic drop. I saw what you did there. But what King ZOP just witnessed, you guys saw the immediate impact, right? Like, and for those of you guys who have never watched, PLG's in the chat. I'm going to get to you in just a second. Guys, I have been diagnosed with intermittent explosive disorder. IED, intermittent explosive disorder. This is a medical diagnosis that has been given to me. I have anger issues. My chili gets running hot real fast. Okay? I don't know if it's... Look, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses, genetics, my weak father, whatever the case may be. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter why I did what I did. It matters that I did what I did. Okay? So you guys know, man, my chili gets running hot. I have paperwork to prove that. But I'm not going to lean on that and use that, well, the reason I beat the shit out of those guys is because of my anger issues. No, we all have shit with us. We all have emotional shit that we deal with. Can you control it, yes or no? And with that, let me bring up my man, Phoenix Light Games. PLG, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Donovan, how you doing today, man?
Doing good, man. I remember I shot you a text. I was like, hey, can you come up and talk about this? But I'm glad that you're here, man. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, I saw your text. But yeah, I was working like a 12, 13-hour shift. I actually just got back home, like literally walked through the door. So yeah, I'm a little tired, but I still think I should, give my piece about what.
Preach, man. What you got? What you got for us, man?
Yeah, like this is something I've been actually thinking about for a long time, and I've been asking questions, specifically when I look back on my childhood. About this. I think first of all this proves is that the black community is a matriarch. They're quick to go to emotion, as we saw right now.
Yeah.
And niggas, they get pissed off over things that women get pissed off over.
Yes,
like
right.
Yeah, because like every time, here's the thing: whenever whether it's a black woman or a nigga, getting confronted with the police or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like almost every video, when a cop does a gesture or says something a certain way, or when a cop like smiles because this dude is acting stupid or this bitch is acting stupid, they're quick to they get angrier
every time, man. Like, what you laughing about?
Yeah, what are you laughing? Like, what are you smiling about? Like, bro, like you're gonna let a simple gesture dictate whether or not you're gonna kill somebody?
Crazy, man.
What kind of fucking sense does that make? But here's the thing. I known about this for a long time, but I felt like there was something more to it. Why niggas are so quick to resort to violence?
Okay.
Rather than here's the thing. I look back at my childhood and everything. Like
okay.
I played sports ever since I was like 5 years old.
Yeah,
baseball,
absolutely.
All that stuff.
Yeah, all
and
of it,
I have 3 younger brothers.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm the oldest of 4.
I'm the oldest of 5. There we go.
Yeah. All that plus 2-parent household. My mom is great. My dad is great. But here's and this is something my dad talked to me about. I noticed that whenever. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I heard something else. I noticed whenever I got on the field or whenever a black kid was playing on my team or anything like that, whenever they were about to get hurt or something bad was going to happen, the single mother would take them out of the field and I would never see them again. And that made me realize that's actually fucking dangerous.
Yes.
Kids at an early age, especially black men, they need to understand. They need to have an understanding of the concept of violence.
Yes.
And here's the thing: I wholeheartedly believe this. The reason why niggas are so quick to violence rather than logic is because most of them don't have a concept of violence. They don't. Same as women.
Wow.
They
Wow.
They don't have a concept of violence because here's the like almost I can remember back any kid that was any black kid that was taken out of a league, taken out of my team or anything like that. They're drug addicts, they're in jail or anything like that. Because here's the thing: because the moms don't. Here's the thing: there are great moms out there, but moms at the end of the day, they don't have a concept of violence the same way as men do. They don't. So when they see their child about to get hurt or anything like that, they're quick to take them. They quick to take them out for that. But that's not healthy for them. They need to go through that. They need to understand what adversity is. They need to understand what challenges are. And if they don't have that concept, they're not going to be. They don't have. It's how do I say this? They're not going to have an understanding of how to control their own strength. They don't.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
look like the nigga that was getting chased by 12 cops in that
Oh
thing
yeah. Oh my God, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was so fucking crazy. But here's like niggas like that are quick to fight because look, bro. How do I say this? You know, like every time, whenever women are in a conversation on Fresh and Fit about the concept of violence, and you and Myron always say women have never been punched by the face by a man, so they don't really understand.
They don't really know. No, they don't.
Niggas, it's the same with niggas. They've never been punched in the face. They have not.
Wow.
I've asked my whole family and shit like that, and it's like these kids, they've never really been in any kind of sport or anything like that, and if they have, they're quick to be taken out. Niggas are the only demographic of men in the United States who do not have a concept of violence. That's why they're so quick to destroy things. This is why they're so quick to resort to fighting. Because in their mind, they're gonna think like, this dude can't touch me. Like he's not capable of anything.
Right.
Well, dude, yeah, you think he's not capable of anything because you've never been punched in the face before.
Right. That's why the dude who was running from the cop at the hospital, he was like, "Oh, look what he did to my face." That's what happens when you fight somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, because and that actually set in stone that I wholeheartedly believe. That nigga that was running away from the cops, he's never been in a fight before.
Hell no.
He's not. He has never, and he was talking all that shit, and he's a fucking lightweight. What did he weigh? Like 110?
Dude, if that. Like, he was a skinny nigga, man, for real.
Yeah, it's like I'm a short nigga, but I go to the gym. I'm like 155, 160. Like what the hell is this dude talking about? But yeah, that just proves it. Niggas don't have a concept of violence. This is why they're so quick to do stupid shit like what happened with, I forgot, like the kid that you're talking about today.
Oh, Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, Carmelo Anthony. Sorry.
Yeah. To me, PLG, it's almost as though, and I had never thought of it. I had never thought of that. The reason why so many niggas are quick to violence is because they've never been punched in the face. Maybe they've punched a few people. Maybe they've gotten into skirmishes and altercations. But most people, not even really niggas, most people have never been in a physical altercation with someone who could do serious physical damage to you. And because they don't have a concept of it, because it's easier to watch a fight than it is to actually be in a fight. Like, a lot of people don't understand. When you throw a punch and miss, you're almost winded because it's like you're throwing everything you've got and you whiff and now you're having to recover. There's so many elements to the art, quote unquote, of fighting. Most people don't understand it, and this is why women and niggas are always quick to temper.
Yeah. This is why, and I had a conversation with my dad about this. I was like, here's the thing. I'm grateful for what he did, but of course I'm very inquisitive because I wanted to see his reasoning behind it. I asked him, why did you have me and my brothers play sports early on? And he was telling me, he told me, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, he told me, I don't want you to be like these crazy niggas out here that are quick to violence. That's what he told me.
Wow.
I want you to have an understanding of how the world works when you're going through adversity, when you understand the concept of teamwork, leadership, I don't want you to just witness that. I want you to be a part of it. That way you can grow up and see the world for what it is, not what you could or should be, what is. And that's made me realize I have a concept of violence, because here's the thing. I played football. I've always been in martial arts and stuff like that. I've been in a lot of sports since I was a kid. I was like, why is my dad putting me in all these sports? But I get why now, because I needed that sense of overcoming adversity.
Not only that, you needed a healthy respect for violence is what you needed.
Yes,
that's what we all needed. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So let me ask you this one last question, and then I'll get you out of here. I think they're going to try. I think they're going to try Carmelo Anthony as an adult. If you are the judge, jury, executioner, what do you think the proper punishment is for this particular crime? Is it the death penalty or life in prison?
That's a tough one. Because I see it from both ends.
Okay.
Life in prison, because somebody did something horrible, I want them to suffer for it. I'm speaking out of,
Absolutely. No, I'm with you. I want somebody to suffer too. If somebody killed a family member of mine, yeah.
Yeah, I want them to suffer. But also there's a pragmatic side to me that's saying damn it, I can't believe I'm about to say this. It's going to sound really fucked up. It's a waste of resources to keep somebody like that alive.
Bro, listen, I am with you 1,000%. I am not in favor of the death. I am against the death penalty, not because of some moralistic. No, the number one reason I'm against there's two reasons I'm against the death penalty, and you mentioned them both. The first reason is that there are some things in this life that are worse than death. Spending the rest of your life in prison is absolutely one of them. And the second reason is exactly what you said. It's a lot. Or actually it would kind of be a contradiction, but it costs a lot more to house a prisoner than to execute a prisoner. So while it might cost us more in the long run, I would rather prolong their suffering. Now, easy for me to say. Well, I mean, I am a taxpayer, but easy for me to say I'm not the person in that position. But yeah, I would want someone to suffer for the rest of their life in prison. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, when you were saying that, I was like, here's the thing. I do want somebody to suffer for doing something very bad. To me, using the death penalty is like, you know what? Actually, that's why niggas are so quick to say kill me. That's why it's the easy way out.
That's right. Yeah, we see it all the time on police videos. Kill me, shoot me, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's the easy way out.
Yeah, it's the easy way out. Yeah, and that just proves that the nigga community is a matriarch, because, hey, what's more I don't know if
they do the easy thing.
What's more
feasible? What's the easier way out? Life in prison or getting killed? There it is. There it is.
Basically, yeah.
There it is.
And women tend to take the easier way out. So it makes sense why niggas would want the easy way out.
There you go. He is Phoenix Light Games. Hopefully he starts his YouTube channel at some point soon. PLG, thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. And again, so I got your text and everything like that. I'm sorting out my schedule stuff because I'm trying to change it to working Tuesday through Saturday. But
gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
Trying to get everything sorted. But as soon as I hear something, I'll let you know. And thank you again for inviting me on.
Oh, of course, absolutely, man. He is PLG, longtime supporter of mine. He's kind of, it's almost like he's sort of the de facto red pill Mike, man. Panda Trucker with the $10 super chat says, as many fights as I have been in, won some and lost some, I realize fights ain't worth the pain the next day. Ninja, I got to work in the morning. You kidding me, bruh? Oh my God. I'm gonna tell you what, man. Actually, real quick before I respond to that, Saber89 with the $5 cash or Rumble Ramp says, when I was younger, I used to black out and almost choked out two kids to death. My friends had to stop me. It wasn't until I was in my 20s when I was truly able to have full control over my emotions. It's scary. Bro, I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, I am absolutely, dude, I'm living proof, man. I'm living proof. And again, guys, I want you to understand, I am not going to be the guy, you're wrong for blah, 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 blah. The reason why this particular story struck a chord with me is because I used to be like Carmelo Anthony. And oh my God, dude, thank God I never killed anybody. You know? I mean, thank God I never killed anybody, man. Holy moly. But yes, dude, getting into a fight. And here's another thing. For those of you who have never been in a fight, when you are in a physical altercation with someone else who is at equal or greater strength, when you get hit or tagged or whatever, you don't feel the pain. You never ever feel the pain until 10 or 15 minutes after the fight. Win or lose, after a fight, you're like, oh God damn, that motherfucker really tagged me. You'd be surprised when someone clocks you and doesn't knock you out. You're like, holy shit, that didn't hurt. Why am I not asleep? That's just how it goes. That's how it goes. All right. I don't know, man. I guess to sort of, you know, put a bow on this conversation, you know, yeah, it's the adrenaline. The thing is this, man. You could have, Rack 90 says you could have told Hotep that that's because that it was because you could relate to Carmelo. Yeah, I told him that. He actually asked. He said, "Well, why is it necessary to have an opinion on this?" And I was like, "Well, because I can identify with this guy on some level, you know." But at the end of the day, man, guys, the fact that predictably, the so-called black community is rallying around Carmelo Anthony, this is part of the problem. We all want to jump on and pile on and give excuses. Well, maybe it was this. It could have been that. It was self-defense. You don't believe that. You don't believe that. You do not believe that. And if you believe that, this is why the black community is a cesspool, gentlemen. Okay? There is a how can I put this? There was a how can I put this? There is a content creator who shall not be named. And I think you all know who I'm talking about. His initials are November Foxtrot. His November Foxtrot. Okay? November Foxtrot. Those are his initials. You can't even say his name on the air. He reacted to Austin Metcalf's murder. Okay? And I'm sort of paraphrasing. Paraphrasing. I'm sort of paraphrasing this here. Okay? Here's what he basically said. Okay? He said, and I will tell you this. He said, and I will tell you this as plainly as possible. I don't want to live around black people. I just don't. He said it would be irresponsible if I had a wife and kids to live near black people. It just would be. And he said, and that's not to say that every black person is violent. It's not to say that every black person is the same. But when we watch the news, when we read the papers, when you drive in downtown Chicago, you know who to look out for and worry about. When you're thinking about whether or not you're going to get carjacked, when you're worried about catching a stray bullet, when you're worried about who's going to pull up to you on the side of the road and literally shove a rifle in your face and steal your iPhone, or shoot you point blank execution style in Lincoln Park, we know who's doing it. He said, I don't want to live near them. I don't want to be near them. They make me nervous. He said, unfortunately, we just don't know. When you're on the subway, when you're driving in your car, when you're in the city streets, you don't know whether a black person in proximity to you is one of the good ones or one of the ones who's just going to summon an unbelievable An unbelievable, unthinkable level of spontaneous brutality, senseless and merciless violence in an instant. He says, we don't know. There's ambiguity. You're sitting on a subway, you look across, you see someone acting strange or aggressive. Is this someone who's going to pull out a knife in 2 seconds and slit my throat and kill me? Or is this someone who's just having a bad day and we just don't know it? He said, I'm not willing to risk my life to find out. It's not worth it to me. I'm not willing to put myself in a position to find out to find out. Now, guys, what he said is difficult to hear. Okay? It's very, very difficult to hear, but guys, this is how it is. And I say this all the time about women. Is it all black people? No. Is it most black people? Probably not. But it is enough of them. It is, as Kinsley Messador puts in the chat, it's enough of them. Guys, this is the way it goes, man. You can't, guys, and you can't pay attention to the news cycle. Okay, you can't be from one of the black communities where black on black crime is rampant. Anytime you go into a black nightclub, you got to go through a metal detector before they let you in. You can't socialize in those environments. You can't have family in those environments, have loved ones who have died or have been injured. Dude, matter of fact, you want to know something? Before I sign off, I'm going to bring up an article here that I asked Devin to get for me a while back. Give me 2 seconds. Oh man, what was it? Halloween hayride. Oh, there it is. There it is. Got it. Violent melee. There we go. Oh, here it is. Here it is, loud and clear. Got it. Welcome, Dana Gonzalez. Welcome to Chat Privileges. At Dana Gonzalez to welcome her to the Hard R family. If you would, Dana, put your age and location in the chat, as is customary of all first-time members. Let us do a chat-wide age and location check. Panda Trucker with the $5 super chat says, the law doesn't care about what could, would, or should. The law only cares about what is and what happened. Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. So I'm going to bring up a story here. And, you know, it's interesting. This actually happened. This happened shortly after we left New Jersey. You guys all know, you know, Devin and I, we used to live in New Jersey. And we moved here to Nevada for many, many obvious reasons. Give me 1 second. Listen to this story. This is unbelievable.
Begin here at 4:30 with chaos at a hayride in South Jersey. Groups of teens began fighting at the attraction in Collingswood, ruining what was supposed to be a family-friendly event for so many.
Now officials are working to make changes to prevent this from happening again during this holiday season. New Jersey correspondent Trish Hartman joins us live with details and brand new video of this havoc that unfolded on a hayride. Trish.
Well, Sarah, Brian, officials say many of these teenagers were dropped off by rideshare services, either here to the park where the hayride was happening or to the Wawa nearby. Police say they quickly started causing problems and fighting, causing the hayride to be shut down early. No! This is one of the fights that happened at the Collingswood Haunted Hayride. A bystander saying she took this video during the event. Another student, Jude Adamali, was on the Haunted Hayride in Knight Park on Saturday evening.
It's usually like fun and like it's scary sometimes, but it's just like a fun experience to hang out with your friends.
But then he says groups of teens started fighting in the park as people were trying to enjoy the main attraction.
And there was like punches thrown, and basically I got on the hayride right when this happened.
Parent Scarlett Rose said he and his daughters had just left as groups of rowdy teens started showing up.
We got home and about maybe like half hour, 45 minutes later, my littlest one, who's always on TikTok, she says, oh my gosh, look what's happening. I thought she was joking. they're throwing punches or whatever, and somebody videotaped like a fight happening.
Police say around 200 juveniles were dropped off at Knight Park on Saturday at the fundraiser for several PTA organizations. When those teens began line cutting and fighting, police were called from Collingswood and neighboring towns.
Look at this.
Even with that response, they were just overwhelmed by the number of people and what was happening.
Similar incidents happened at community events in Gloucester Township and Pennsauken over the summer.
In the other towns where this has gone on, like we've now got, unfortunately, some experience in this, they went through what we are now, which is there's tapes to be reviewed, there's video to be looked at, and charges were filed after those events. Charges can still be filed here.
Now, no arrests were made on Saturday, the mayor saying that the police were more concerned with dispersing the crowds at the time. Now, no serious injuries were recorded, according to police. Now, the mayor and police are working on a plan with other events, especially with the holidays coming up, to make sure that this doesn't happen at other community events in the future. We're live in Collingswood, New Jersey. Trish Hartman, Channel 6, Action News.
There you go, guys. There you go. And, people all in the comments, yeah, the usual suspects. The usual suspects. In the end, guys, it is very, very important. And listen, a lot of our naysayers like to say, "Oh, all you do is tear down the black community with no solutions." Dude, if you're speaking the truth, and people tell you, you're tearing down the black community with no solutions, you know what you tell them? Kiss my fucking ass. Kiss my fucking ass. Ain't nobody tearing down the black community but niggas. That's who's tearing down the black community. Motherfucking niggas. This is why we have the Hard R podcast. Gentlemen, absolutely nothing justifies this nigga's actions. I do not give a shit. This dude stabbed a teenager to death. And then we actually have people in here justifying what he did. If you find yourself justifying what this dude did, you're a nigga. That's it. At a goddamn track meet, no less, as Snow Demi says, "What are you doing bringing a knife to a track meet?" No, all because he disrespected you in some way, shape, or form. Incredible. All right, guys, that is going to do it for the Hard R podcast. TSR Live will return tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.